Namaste and welcome to Astro Divas. Today we are going to talk about April month. April 2026 is not for the faint of heart, but it is a month for the prepared one. We are stepping into a rare cosmic window with five major transits that are creating a global stress test on our systems and on our spirits. You might feel it in the air, a sense of urgency, a tightening of resources, and a world that feels increasingly unpredictable. But here is the truth. While the collective energy feels like a storm, your birth chart is your anchor. This month isn't about waiting for the world to calm down, it's about finding the strategy to navigate these heavy cross currents while they are loud. Today, we aren't just looking at predictions, we are looking at your survival and your success guide for April. From the Mercury's fog to the Mars and Saturn stress, let's break it down how you can turn this global friction into your personal power play. So, let's begin and check which are the five transits that I am talking about this month. The first one is on April 2nd, Mars enter Pisces. Now think of this as an fire from Mars meeting deep water of Pisces, where Saturn is already transiting. So it's a clash of titans, forcing you to find a new way to push forward without burning out. On April 11th, Mercury enter Pisces. Now, Lord of Intelligence Mercury enters with three other planets in Pisces. Now this house is crowded. So now our clear-headed thinking takes a back seat to our intuitions and deep emotions given by Pisces. On April 14th, Sun will enter Aries. The king, the Atmakarka, will be back in power. As the sun hits its peak strength, it gets exalted, it shines a spotlight on our inner courage, giving us the boost we need to finally take the lead in our lives. On April 19th, Venus will enter Taurus. Now, the planet of comfort and love is finally home. Venus will be feeling like home sweet home. This is our cosmic permission slip to slow down, stabilize our finances, and enjoy the beauty we have worked so hard for. On April 30th, Mercury will enter Aries. The tension finally breaks. The Lord of Intelligence and Communication moves out from Mars and Saturn pressure and turn our April stress test into massive wins. Now let's take a look which all occasions are there for the month of April. So this is a list of occasions that we have in the month of April. Starting with on 2nd of April, we have Hanuman Jayanti, the day dedicated to tapping into our limitless inner strength and the courage to overcome any obstacle through pure focus. On 3rd and 5th of April, we have Good Friday and Easter. It represents the ultimate victory of life over death, light over darkness, and promise of renewal and hope. In Australia, where I live, it's autumn here and it serves as a halfway point in the year to reset and spend time with family and friends. On April 13th and 27th, we have Ekadashi. Now, this is a global detox days and not just related to any religion because this aligns with the lunar cycle that helps us reset our digestive system and clear mental static. On April 19th, we have Akshat Tritiya. Now, this is also a global day, and I would urge everyone, every viewer, to just listen carefully what I'm going to tell you about Akshat Tritiya. So, this is the day of eternal success, considered the most powerful time of the year to start a new venture or set a long term goal. And today, whatever you donate will come multifolds back to you. On April 19th, we have Parshuram Jayanti, a celebration of principled leadership and the balance between being knowledgeable yet strong enough to stand up for justice. On April 24th, we have Ma Baglamukhi Jayanti, a unique window for mastering your speech and gaining the power to silence negative thoughts or external critics. On April 30th, we have Narsimha Jayanti, a day representing divine protection, reminding us that the light always emerges to defeat darkness, no matter how difficult the situation is. So many wonderful birthdays are there in the month of April, and we are celebrating the Jayantis. And drop us a line in the comment box if you are also celebrating your birthday in April, and wishing you all April born a very, very happy birthday. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to show you a sample of how to check your ascendant sign. This is for the viewers who do not know what is their ascendant sign. So, if you know your ascendant sign, well and good. And if you do not know your ascendant sign, just open your birth chart. And your birth chart, this is the first box where number 3 is written, house number 1. where number 3 is written, that means you are a Gemini ascendant. So there is a corresponding chart given here number wise. If it is 1, it is Aries. If it is 2, it is Taurus. If it is 3, it is Gemini. And if you do not have your birth chart, just Google it. There are a lot of websites which will just create within few seconds your birth chart. You just have to enter your birth details, and free of cost you can get your birth chart. Just open it and check which sign or which number is there in your first house. Whatever number or sign is there, if there is a number 5 here, then you are a Leo rising. If number 8 is here, then you are Scorpio rising. Now you can just take a screenshot of this or just hold this video. If you do not have your birth chart, just get it quickly and just find out which ascendant you are, and you can directly jump on the prediction for your ascendant sign. Welcome to all the Aries rising. Aries, this is your season to shine. Now, there are 5 transit in this month. And from the modern day perspective, you may think, how does these 5 transits matter to you as an individual? But it does. First is it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge in the world of chaos. Knowing the cosmic weather beforehand for April means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So, hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. Now, let's begin with the first transit for you. So the first transit for you is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now Mars is your ruler, the Lagna Lord, your first Lord. So what it means is it's yourself. So Mars rules your first house and eighth house represents transformation and sudden events. Joins Saturn in the 12th house of foreign expenditure and isolation. Now Sun is also present there, if you can see. So now there are 3 planets. Now this is creating a behind the scene battle. Now think of it as a fire of Mars meeting the deep water of Pisces, where Saturn is already there. So there is a clash of titans, forcing you to find a way to push forward without burning out. So what does this transit mean for you? One is the identity crisis can be on the cards. What I mean is, as your ruler Mars enters the house of isolation, you may find or feel physically drained or socially invisible. You might feel like retreating from the world to figure out who you really are. Now, 12th house also represents hospital and medical visits. So, eighth Lord Mars in the 12th with Saturn. So, don't ignore your minor health issues. Watch out for the heart-related problems, also in the feet, toes, or left eye. You may also feel stagnation or frustration in career. Your 10th Lord Saturn is also caged, in this house. Now, the 11th Lord of Gains, Saturn, is sitting in the house of expenditure. So, expect some sudden, unavoidable expenses as well. And expect some insomnia or sleep disturbance. Your sleep may be disturbed by the vivid, intense dreams or racing thoughts about your future, because 12th house also represents your sleep. Now, be careful about what you say in private. With 8th Lord Mars here, someone might try to use your secret against you. So, trust very few people this month. The 8th and 12th Lord connection is highly mystical. You may feel you're going through a heavy spiritual penance or a gut feeling that turns out to be 100% accurate. And if you have been trying to go abroad for work or a foreign company, this transit can suddenly open a door. Now, this is a good news, but it will come with a lot of paperwork and stress because Saturn is there. Now, there will be a need for solitude. You will likely cancel social plans. So, respect this urge. Forcing yourself to be social will only lead to explosive arguments. And Aries, don't worry. This chaos is there till the mid of month, as on April 14th, when the sun enters your first house, you get your soul back. The sun in your lagna gives you the physical strength to fight through the fog. Now, one more tip I want to share here for this transit is silence is your shield. So, if you feel angry or stuck, don't push harder. Surrender the ego to the universe, and the path will clear after 14th of April. Now, let's talk about the second transit. The second transit for you this month is on April 11th, 2026, when Mercury will enter Pisces. Now, Mercury is your third and sixth lord, and Mercury is a functional malefic ruling your third house of effort, communication, sibling, and sixth house of debts, enemies, and health. In Vedic astrology, Mercury gets debilitated in Pisces. So, when a debilitated sixth lord goes in the 12th house, it's create a Vipreet Rajyog, success through struggle. But the journey is mentally exhausting. So let's find out what it can bring to the table. First, there can be extreme mental fog. So, with your thinking planet Mercury debilitated in the house of subconsciousness, you will feel like your brain is underwater. Decision making becomes difficult, so don't sign any major contracts. There can be sudden medical expenses because sixth house is for health and 12th house is for expenditure and hospitals. So, watch out for your health or nervous system issues or skin allergies. Mercury rules your communication, so its presence here means you might accidentally leak a secret or discover a hidden truth about an enemy or a sibling. Logical chaos can be there on the cards. Expect travel delays, lost emails, or technical glitches. Your third house of tools and gadget is compromised, so back up your data. One good thing about this transit Aries is there is victory over rivals, Vipreet Raju. Since 6th Lord is in the 12th, your enemies may self destruct or back down. However, this happens behind the scene and not in the open battle. Few other things which can come to surface is sleep disturbance, overthinking, misunderstanding with siblings can happen, foreign visa or documentation stress, temporarily withdrawal from social media, and all these things can also come to the surface. So the tip is do not react to rumors. Wait until the sun enter Aries on April 14 to gain the clarity you need to act. And you can take refuge in writing or journaling about deep spiritual topics that you're feeling right now. Now, the third transit for you Aries is when sun enter Aries. Yes, this is a big relief for all of us. On April 14th is the grand awakening. The sun is the lord of your fifth house of intelligence, children, past merit, and becoming exalted Ucha in your first house. This is the king entering his own headquarters to restore order after the Mars Saturn Mercury chaos in the 12th house. So, what it means for you post 14th April is first, the solar blast of confidence can happen. So, after a month of feeling hidden or drained in the 12th house, you suddenly wake up. Your physical energy, aura, and self worth skyrocket. So, you look and feel like a leader again. There can be creative birth. So if you have been sitting on an idea, now this is the launch window. Your intelligence lord from fifth is at the maximum peak of exaltation. Now there is a clarity over confusion. There will be focus on children. You may receive significant good news regarding a child, or you might find yourself acting like a father-like authority and protection over your family. One more point on physical vitality and heat is your digestive fire increases. So while you feel stronger, watch for excessive body heat, acidity, or eye strain. Your pitta is at all-time high. There can be authoritative speech, so you stop doubting and start declaring. One final point here is the ego trap can happen. The only downside of the exalted sun in the first is I am the center syndrome can happen. So ensure your newly found confidence doesn't turn into solar arrogance that burns your relationship. The fourth transit for you, Aries, is when Venus enters Taurus on April 19th. Now, this is a homecoming of the highest order because Venus is your second lord of wealth, speech, and family, and seventh lord of partnership and marriage. And when the planet enter its own sign, Swakshetra, it becomes exceptionally stable and nurturing. So this creates a Malavya like energy in your house of treasury. So after a high intensity solar fire of early April, this transit brings the sweetness back. Now, what does it mean for you? The first is this brings a money magnet phase. Yes, with the second lord in the second house, your bank balance starts to stabilize and grow. Wealth comes through Venetian means, which is art, luxury, consulting, or high end partnership. There is a face and beauty glow up as well. So you might invest in skincare, new hairstyle, or dental work. You literally look rich and radiant during this transit. There can be sensory indulgences. So you will have a sudden craving for the finer things like gourmet food, expensive fabric, and beautiful surroundings. Your living standards are getting an upgrade. And along with sensory, I feel you will have an urge to accumulate. Now, this is an excellent time to buy jewelry, gold, or high value collectibles that appreciates over time. There will be sweetness in your speech. Your voice becomes melodious and persuasive. There is a vocal talent. So, if you're a singer, speaker, or influencer, your vocal value is at all time high. Your audience finds your presence soothing and trustworthy. There is also family harmony on the card. Any friction with family members during the Sun Aries transit because of the heat will now heal. You become the peacemaker of the household, bringing comfort and luxury to your kin. Since Venus is your seventh lord, which represents spouse and marriage, the entry into the second house, that means your partner may bring a significant financial contribution to the home. You and your spouse can focus on building long term tangible assets. There is stability in business as well. So if you are a business person and in partnership, the terms and conditions becomes very clear and profitable. You move away from risky speculation and towards steady cash flow. The comfort trap is also there, Aries. So the only downside is the tendency towards laziness or overindulgence in sweets. So you might prefer resting on your laurels rather than pushing on the next big win. So watch out for that. Now, what does the classic says about this transit? So, in Faldipika, it says the Dhanapati, the second lord in Dhanasthana, in second house, means or makes the native Vidwan, learned, or Dhanwan, wealthy, and is blessed with sukhas, that is comfort. So, all in all, this is a very good transit for you, Aries. Now, the fifth transit for you, Aries, is when Mercury enters Aries. By 30th April, the atmosphere for an Aries ascendant shifts purely from feeling to thinking and strategizing. With Mercury joining the exalted sun in the first house, you are hosting a powerful Buddhaditya yoga, that is intellectual brilliance, right in your first house. So whenever Mercury and sun sits together, it creates a very beautiful Buddhaditya yoga, which means intellectual brilliance, because your lot of intelligence is sitting with sun, the Atma Karka. Now, Mercury is your third lord of initiative, skills, siblings, and also your sixth lord of debts, enemies, and health and daily routine. So, when these effort based houses sit in your physical body, in your first house, you become a human Swiss Army knife. What it means for you is, first, the hyper processor brain happens. What I mean is, Mercury rules your third house, which is of mental inclination, and sits in your first house. So you aren't just thinking, you're calculating. You will find yourself solving problems before others even realize that they exist. You can become a master of negotiation. The exalted sun gives you the commanding presence, and Mercury gives you the technical data. So you are now the most persuasive person in any room. So it is the ultimate week for closing deals. There is a skill up surge. You will feel a restless urge to learn a new technical skill or a language or a software. Now, since third lord is in the first, your hands wants to be busy, because third house also represents our hands and our shoulders. There can be victory over rivals. The sixth lord of enemy and competition in first, usually with the sun here, exalted sun, will burn the position through superior logic. You don't have to fight them. You can outsmart them until they give up. The wit factor is also there. Your sense of humor becomes sharp, dry, and incredibly effective. And you may receive a major document, license, contract, visa that defines your new status as well. Your younger siblings or a close teammate, neighbors, can become your right hand. You might find yourself working intensely with them on some personal mission. As the sixth lord represents health, enters your first house, so you become an expert in your own body. What I mean is, you might start biohacking, tracking your steps, or following a very specific logical diet plan that suits your health. Short travels is also there on the card. So the third lord represents travels. In the first, brings the vibration to your feet. So expect many short, quick trips, and you will be on the move. Now, what does the classical says about it? The classics in Faldipika, on this transit, it says that when the lord of third and sixth enters the lagna, the first house, the native becomes ati chatur, that is extremely clever. He may face some viruddha, that is opposition, but through vak siddhi, power of speech, he gains vijaya, that is victory. So all in all, this transit also seems very good for you, Aries. So let's summarize this month for you. While the early month requires patience with health and habits, the exalted Sun and Mercury in your sign by 14th and 30th provides a massive reboot to your confidence and career. Now, this is your season to reclaim your crown. Just remember to stay grounded and keep your cool as you step into your most powerful version yet. The best dates for you is April 14th, 19th, and 30th. And for students, your mental stamina hits an annual peak. You have the exalted confidence to lead any group project or crush any difficult exam. So focus on physical movement to burn off the restless Aries fire so you can sit still and study. Now let's look at the live segment and indicators for April. On personal, it is high. You are radiant. On career, it is high. On social aspect, it is high. Love aspect is medium because focus is on yourself more than us. And health is medium. For health, there is high energy, but for Aries rising, I want to share one or two things. One is that nervous system will be overload. What I mean is your mind is racing while your body is exhausted, leading through high cortisol, insomnia, risk of mental burnout is there, and body inflammation can happen. So you need to take care of certain things, especially heat in the feet, ankles, lymphatic system, which can cause swelling or sharp localized pain. Digestive sensitivity is also there from your sixth house. Your internal fire is leaking, so making you very vulnerable to sudden food allergies, acidity, and a sluggish gut that requires a clean warm diet. So take good care of your health. And let me also share a few remedies with you. So the first remedy for everybody wherever you are in this globe, the secret of Akshat Tritiya. Yes, on 19th of April, the fastest way to multiply your luck is doing charity on 19th of April. So to get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's a animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today returns to you multifolds. The second remedy I want to share is for Mars and Saturn combo. You know, it is creating a tension. So the remedy is the solitude walk. Yes, it is so simple. Walk barefoot on the natural grass or sand for at least 12 minutes a day. Now, this earths the 12th house energy and prevents the tension. Swim if you can. This is also one of the potent remedy. Use of water. And one general remedy is recite Hanuman Chalisa. This is your go-to mantra for Aries Ascendant. Now, with this, I wish all the Aries Ascendant a very successful April month. Welcome to all the Taurus rising. Taurus, we have 5 transit this month. So, from the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this transit matter as an individual, but it does. First is it's about timing. So, you wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second is it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In the world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April 2026 beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. Now let's break it down and see what's in store for you. So the first transit for all of us is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now Mars is your 7th and 12th lord. And for Taurus, your 11th house, Pisces, is now getting crowded. This is the house of gain, social circle, and your deepest desire. You can see 3 planets in your 11th house now. What it means for you is there can be an income explosion. With the 10th and 11th Lord involved, you could see a sudden massive spike in your income. However, Mars and Saturn together mean the money comes with a heavy price or a lot of hard negotiation. There can be a social circle friction. Now, Mars and Saturn are enemies. They are two clash of titans. So expect a blow up with a close friend, elder sibling, or within a group you belong to. A loyal friend might suddenly show a cold shoulder, Saturn-like side to you. Career will be between peak and exhaustion. What I mean is, with two titans together, you might feel like you have won the race, but you're too tired to celebrate. There are sudden gains from foreign sources. Relationship stress will be there over money. Now, Mars, your seventh lord, which belongs, represents to spouse and marriage, is sitting with Saturn, the freezer. So, your partner might be very demanding about finances or feel neglected because you're too busy or focused on your gains. They can be technical and digital success. So if you work in tech, social media, or large organization, this high voltage energy can make a project go viral or get a major recognition. Now, Saturn is your 11th lord as well, and is a great pay master. So, if you have worked hard, this month brings the physical manifestation to all your efforts. So, all in all, I think this is a good transit for your social circle and for your gains. The second transit for you, Taurus, is when Mercury enter Pisces on April 11th. Now, this creates a powerhouse alignment in your 11th house of gains, networking, and ambition. Now, there are four planets in your 11th house right now. For you, Mercury rules your second house of wealth, family, and fifth house of speculation, intelligence, romance, and children. When the second and fifth lord enters the 11th, it creates a powerful Dhana Yoga, wealth yoga. But because Mercury is debilitated here and joined by warriors like Mars and Saturn, the wealth comes with a massive side of complexity. Let's break it down and find out what all things can come to the surface by this transit. The first is the complex paycheck. So what I mean is you will likely see a gain from a past investment or a bonus, but there may be a calculation error or a delay in actual transfer of funds. You might realize a certain friend is actually a competitor. Expect a very serious conversation within your social group. There is a speculation warning. So, with the fifth lord Mercury debilitated and hit by Mars and Saturn, do not day trade or gamble. Your gut feeling is currently clouded, so be watchful. There will be news about children. So, if you have kids, they may face a minor logistical or health hurdle or may need your attention. So, you need to take care of that aspect in this transit. There can be technical networking. So, you might join a high level professional group, communication with large groups, become very, very technical and serious. Family well discussion will be on the card. So finances are into the spotlight. So you might discuss inheritance or a long term finally asset with your elder siblings or within your family. There can be intuitive gains. What I mean is, despite the debilitation, Mercury in Pisces can bring accidental wisdom. So you might overhear a tip or a piece of information that leads to a future profit. Now, let's also see what is the classical view on this transit. In Saravali, it is written that when Labhadipati in Labh house with Pap Grahas gives wealth through many sources, but the mind remains vikshipt, scattered due to Mercury being debilitated. So, one advice I want to share with you, Taurus, is wait for the sun to move into Aries on April 14th. Your 11th house is so crowded right now. So, don't let the noise of the crowd dictate your values. Now, this is the transit I was talking about when Sun enter Aries on April 14. This is a sophisticated and quiet transit. The Sun is your lord of fourth house of home, mother, property, and inner peace. And it is becoming exalted Ucha in your 12th house of subconsciousness and foreign land and expenditure. Now, this creates a higher vibration of isolation. While the sun is powerful, exalted, but it is hidden in the 12th house, making this period of internal radiance rather than external show. What I mean by this is there are few things that can come to surface first. As your fourth lord of your heart and home enters the 12th house of moksha, you will feel a massive pull towards solitude. You may find your home within yourself through meditation or retreat. There is a foreign property home gains on the card. So you might finalize a deal for property in distant land or spend money on 12th house traits to upgrade your current home. You may be working on a secret project or behind the scene leadership role because you have the power of an exalted sun, but the world doesn't see it yet. Your mother may travel to a pilgrimage site or experience a deep spiritual awakening. Alternatively, you may spend money on a health or comfort. The 12th house is house of expenditure. So, with exalted sun here, you might spend on royalty. There can be victory over internal enemies. The 12th house is of sleep and secret sorrows. The sun here burns away all the fears, insomnia, and subconscious anxieties. So, you finally sleep with a sense of exalted peace. Now, I think everybody needs this one. There can be resolutions on government and legal things. What I mean is, if you have had an legal issue or the 12th house confinement problem, the sun's exaltation helps resolve them, often through a high ranking authority figure acting in the background for you. There can be vivid prophetic dreams. So pay attention to your sleep. Your subconscious is trying to give you an exalted message. You may intentionally step back from a public role to recharge. You realize that your true power doesn't come from your status but from your solitude. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Jatak Parijata, it is mentioned that Chaturthapati, that is fourth lord in expenditure house in Vaya, when it becomes Ucha, exalted, makes the native spend on dharma, on righteousness, and find happiness in Videsha, and find happiness in foreign land, and yet causes mana santap, that is still will cause you mental heat regarding the home. But all in all, I think this is a great time to retreat and reflect. The fourth transit for you is when Venus will enter Taurus. As a Taurus ascendant, Venus is your Lagna Lord, the planet that represents you, your body, your soul, and also your sixth Lord of your health, competition, service. So on April 19th, your ruler returns to her home in the first house. Now, this is a Malavya Yoga, one of the five great royal yogas. So you are now stepping into your most beautiful and magnetic phase of the year. What it means for you, Taurus, is you literally glow. Your physical appearance becomes softer, more attractive, and more refined. People will notice a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there in early April. You regain your confidence and prioritize your own pleasure and comfort. Now, there is healing from the sixth house issues as well. As the sixth lord of health enters first house in strength, you find a perfect beauty based healing or a more effective fitness routine that works wonder for your health. Victory over rivals can happen. What I mean is the sixth lord of enemies and competition enters the first house. So you incorporate your competition. So you don't fight them with fire. You outshine them with exalted style. You will want to invest in yourself, from high end clothing to fine jewelry. You are building a physical portfolio of beauty along with self. So you will find yourself hosting dinners, enjoying music, and surrounding yourself with art and comfort. So while you are more charming and you are also more immovable, you know your worth and you will not settle for anything less than first class treatment. What does the classic says about this transit in Faldipika? It says, when Lagnadipati, first lord in Lagna, in first house, in Swarashi, in own sign, makes the native Dirgha Ayu, long lived, and Shriman, that is wealthy, and Kanti Yukt, that is radiant with beauty. Now, these are all good things coming to you. So just enjoy. The next transit is on April 30th when Mercury enter Aries. Now, for Taurus ascendant, Mercury is your second lord of wealth, family, speech, food, and fifth lord of intelligence, creativity, romance, and children. So, on April 30th, Mercury enters Aries, joining the exalted sun in your 12th house of subconsciousness, foreign land, expenditure, and isolation. Now, this creates a high voltage Buddhaditya yoga, intellectual brilliance. But in a hidden house, it's a paradoxical transit. Your brain is on fire, but you feel like keeping it all behind a curtain for now. What it means for you is your second lord of money in 12th house also represents investment and foreign. So suggest you are putting capital into something private or international. You might be buying stocks, crypto, or a property in another country. Foreign gains through speech is also on the card. Since Mercury is your second lord of speech, the foreign connection brings a direct boost to your bank balance. There can be a creative incubation. So your fifth lord of creativity in 12th. So you aren't ready to show the world your masterpiece yet. You are hiding to create. This is the best week for deep research or finishing a book project in solitude. Your dreams becomes incredibly analytical in this transit. You might wake up with solutions to problem or a creative code that was cracked while you slept. And you might spend a significant amount on the child's or schooling or creative course or a spiritual retreat. Now, this is a quality spending from the fifth house connected to 12th. So, yes, you should go for it. There can be nervous exhaustion. The sun is exalted here, which can burn the delicate mercury. So, watch for eye strain, headaches, or mental burnout. Your brain is running a marathon while your body wants to sleep. There can be hidden romantic conversations. So, if you are in a relationship or romantically involved, you might have deep private talks about your future. And if you're single, a secret crush or a long distance connection via text email becomes very intense. You may also feel very charitable or want to donate for a good cause. Now, what does classic says about this transit? In Faldipika, it says when the Lord of second and fifth sits in the 12th with the exalted sun, the native gains through Videsha. So the native gains through foreign and yoga sadhana, that is spiritual practice, but must guard against Vach dosha. So you must watch against your speech, is what it says. Now, this covers all the five transit for Taurus. Now, let's summarize for the month. April start as a quiet behind the scene month for you, but everything shifts when your ruler Venus enter the sign in the first house by 19th, bringing a massive boost to your charm and confidence. And by 30th, any private plans you have been working on finally turn into a real progress and personal success. I feel this is a very good month for you, Taurus. Now, best dates are April 19, 21st, and 30th. And for students, this is the behind the scenes study month where you will do your best work in total solitude or in libraries. So while you might feel socially quiet, your creative insight, Venus in first, will make your assignments look like a masterpiece. Let's also look at life segment and indicators for the month. Personal, it is high. Venus gives you that major glow up. Career and money, it is medium. Gains through foreign or secret sources is there. Social is a bit low. You prefer your own company right now. Love is high. You are irresistible with Venus in Lagna. Health is low to medium. So you need to watch your sleep pattern, your subconsciousness stress is there. So prioritize a digital detox before bed to protect your nervous system. Circulation and leg health is also important. So watch your ankles, calf cramp, or poor circulation. Keep moving to prevent stagnant energy in your lower limbs, especially. And there can be a hormonal and sleep imbalance. So also skin issues can be there. Minor skin breakouts or throat sensitivity. So stay hydrated and stick to a cooling diet. Now, let me also share a few remedies with you. The first remedy is for everybody under the sun globally. 19th April is the day. It's a very powerful and auspicious day. Doesn't matter which religion or which country you belong. It's a day for doing the good deed, for the charity. And you get when you give. So donate a small amount for a cause today, that is on 19th, whether it's to an animal shelter, to a food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today returns to you multifold. So make use of 19th April. Second is your go-to mantra is Mahamrityunjay Jap. Go to Lord Shiva. And for Mars and Saturn combo, the best potent remedy I can share is water. Water provides a natural buffer for Mars aggressions and Saturn stiffness. So go for a swim, soak your feet in water, drink water from copper glass, and walk barefoot on grass. Move your body and stay hydrated. Wishing all the Taurus a very successful April month. Welcome to all the Gemini rising. Gemini, we have five transit this month. From the modern day perspective, you may think, how does these five transits matter to you as an individual? But it does. First is it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against the storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In a world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So, hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. So, let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. So the first transit for the month is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now for Gemini ascendant, this is a massive career turning point. The 10th house is the highest point of your horoscope, ruling your profession, reputation, and authority. Now with your sixth lord Mars of sixth house represents work, debts, and enemies, and also Mars is your 11th lord. 11th house represents gains, friends, social circle, and it's joining the ninth lord of Saturn, the luck and father in the house of career. Now, this is very wonderful combination. You are entering a battlefield for success. Now, what I mean for you is there are few things that can come on the surface with this transit. First is with Mars, the lord of struggle in 10th house, you will have incredible energy to win over your competition. You will be the one solving everyone's problem, but you will be doing it with a very sharp attitude. Because Mars also rules your 11th house of gains. This transit can bring a sudden promotion or a high status project. However, Saturn will make you earn every inch of it. Now, Mars and Saturn are two titans clashing and they are enemies. Expect a major ego clash with your boss, father figure, or with the government. They might be too strict and you might be too rebellious. Now, Gemini loves variety, and this month you will be forced to handle 10 different professional responsibilities at once. So, you might feel like a one man army. You are likely to receive an award or a recognition, but Saturn ensure it comes after a lot of paperwork, meetings, and a red tape. There is financial growth through work. Since 11th Lord of Gains in 10th of your career directly leads to more money based on your effort. Now, this is an excellent time to negotiate a contract or a bonus. There can be a conflict between home and work. So, while you're winning at office, the fourth house is being looked by these heavy planets. Expect some fire or repair issues at home because you're spending all the time at work. There can be the technical edge. Now, this is a brilliant month for Geminis in engineering, surgery, law, or any field that requires cutting edge precision. So, your focus is lethal right now, so make use of it. And when Sun moves to your 11th house, the pressure from your boss eases up, and social or financial gains are also more visible. All in all, a very good transit for you, Gemini. Let's move to the next transit. The next one is when on April 11th, Mercury enter Pisces. Your Lagna Lord, your ruler, Mercury, the planet of intelligence, which represents you, is entering into 10th house. Now, here your ruler becomes debilitated and joins a high pressure duo of Mars and Saturn. You are literally stepping into an engine room, actually. What it means is you're physically and mentally in your work. So, with your ruler in 10th, you can't hide. Everyone is looking at you to solve problems created by Mars and Saturn. So, because Mercury is debilitated, you might feel like you aren't smart enough for your current role, despite being the one doing all the heavy lifting. There can be conflict with authority. A heated debate with a superior or a government official is likely. So take good care here. There can be technical breakthrough. Now, this is a precision transit. So if you work in engineering, surgery, IT, or architecture, the Mars Saturn Mercury trio gives you the ability to fix a deep seated structural error. So there can be a status transformation through your brilliant working. With Mars in 10th, you are seen as an aggressive or ambitious. So ensure your ambition doesn't cross into arrogance. There is a concern on father's health or career. So the ninth Lord Saturn is under pressure in the 10th. So your father or a mentor might face a sudden professional challenge or a health related issue, especially in feet or nerves. Since Pisces is a watery sign, an intuitive sign, stop trying to use logic of Mercury and which is debilitated right now and start using your gut because intuition is the gift from Pisces which is given to you. Now, what does the classic says about this in Jatak Parijata? About this transit, it is written that when Karma Bhava with Lagnadipati, Mercury in debilitated, joined by other malefics, brings Kalesh, that is distress in service. But eventually, Siddhi, it brings Siddhi success through intense discipline, tapas. All in all, I think this is a good transit. The next transit for you is most awaited when Sun enter Aries. Now, this is most profitable and socially powerful transit of the year. The Sun is the lord of your third house, effort, communication skills, and it becomes exalted, Ucha, in your house of gains, that is in your 11th house. 11th house also represents your elder siblings, social influence, your friends. Now, this is a multiplier effect where your small effort from third house yield massive results in your 11th house. What I mean, this is a power networking transit. You become the center of your social circle. An exalted sun in 11th means you're rubbing shoulders with influential people, CEOs, or government official who wants to help you. There are sudden financial gains which can be seen in this transit. You may receive significant help from elder sibling or from your friends, or they themselves reach a peak in their career, bringing pride to the family. For Gemini content creators, this is your gold window. Your communication from third is so radiant and it attracts a massive following from the 11th house. Now, there is a victory in negotiations as well. There is a courageous prophet. The third house of Parakram, valor. You take a calculated risk that everyone else was afraid to take, and it results in a significant gain. And there is also realizing long term of goals in this transit. Leadership in the group will come to the surface. So you may be elected to a board of committee or asked to lead a large community project. Your sun-like presence is undeniable right now. With an exalted sun in the 11th, be careful not to look down on old friends who haven't reached your current level of success. Keep your ego in check and be watchful. So, what does the classic says? What is the classic view? So, in Jatak Parijata, it is written about this transit that when Tritiya Pati, third lord in Ekadash in 11th, as exalted becomes Ucha, makes the native Labh Bhagya, that is wealthy, and blessed with Bhratru Sahai, that is help from siblings, and famous in the Gana, famous in the society. So, all in all, it's a very good transit for you. The next transit is on April 19th when Venus will enter Taurus. Venus is your fifth lord of intelligence, romance, creativity, and the 12th lord of spirituality, foreign land, and subconsciousness. So on April 19th, Venus entered Taurus in her own sign in the 12th house. This is a very dreamy and private transit. It creates a Viprit like grace where your losses turn into spiritual or private gains. Venus also gets exalted in Pisces, it gets Ucha. So let's break it down. What this transit can bring is first is there can be a secret romance with your fifth lord of romance and 12th house of secret, a private or a hidden love affair could blossom. You will prefer intimacy behind closed doors over public display. You find immense pleasure being alone. You might spend money on high end staycation, a spa retreat, or simply upgrading your home, your sanctuary. If you are an artist or a writer, this is your muse phase, your fifth lord of creativity in the house of isolation. Now, great ideas will come to you in your dreams or in your deep meditation. There are foreign gains through creativity. An opportunity from a foreign land related to your creative talents or past merits will show up. Classically, Venus in 12th in her own sign is the best placement. So your sleep quality improves. You may wake up with a melodious colors or solutions to problem that your conscious mind couldn't solve earlier. There can be spiritual indulgence. So you want the beauty of ritual, incense, flowers, chanting, and beautiful temple visit. So you may find God through beauty. There can be generous charity because 12th house is for charity. So you feel a royal urge to give, to donate. So you may donate to hospital, asylum, or a spiritual center, finding a deep sense of wealth in the act of letting go. Because the 12th house is a house of expenditure and you might overshop on luxury items. So watch out, watch your credit card and also your budget. Now, what does the classic views or says about it? In Faldipika, it is written when Panchamapati, fifth lord in expenditure house in Vaya, in Swarashi in own sign, makes the native spends on righteous deeds and finds moksha through the path of love. This is so beautiful. Now, the next transit for you is on April 30th when Mercury enter Aries. Now, Mercury is your Lagan Lord, the first house, your ruler, the planet that represents you, and your fourth Lord of home, happiness, property. On April 30th, your ruler enter Aries, joining the exalted sun in your 11th house of gains. So, this means this is a main character transit. As your ruler hits the house of fulfillment or desire, you stop being the thinker and start being the gainer. What this transit can bring to the surface is first you can become a social magnet with your ruler in the 11th. You are like life of every party. Your networking power is at its annual peak and you're literally the person to know. There can be sudden financial gain, so you see a direct profit from your personal efforts. Now this is a lump sum energy. Expect bonus and a commission or a payout. There can be real estate profit since Mercury is also your fourth lord of property. This transit suggests gains through land and home. So you might close a deal, rent out a room, or see massive value spikes in your assets. You have reconnection with power friends and you have the influencer aura as well. If you are on a social media, you are the eloquent leader. Your speech is authoritative yet quick witted. You find happiness through groups. So many things can happen for you. There will be also support from elder siblings, from your social group, and from your friends. Now, what does classic says about it? In Falde Picard says when Lagnadipati, first lord in Ekadash in 11th, makes the native Sarva Labh Samyukta, that is endowed with all kind of gains. Sada Sukhi, that is always happy, and Khyata, that is famous among the peers. Now, to summarize April month for you, Gemini, think of it like this: the first 20 days are for sharpening the axe, and the last 10 days are for chopping the wood. So, if you don't sharpen the axe early on 30th, then you won't be successful for your coming months. So, I think this is a very important month for you. All the best to you. The best dates are April 11, 23rd, and 30th. And for students, April starts with career, study, confusion, but ends with you becoming the star student in your social or academic circle. So use the 14th, 19th, and 30th to network with mentors or submit applications. Your exalted logic will give you an yes. Now let's look at the life segments and indicators. On personal, it is high. On career, it is high. Direct gains through network. Social aspect also, it is very high. You are the life of every group. On love, it is medium. On health, it is medium. And on health, watch out for mental burnout, nervous exhaustion caused by overthinking, and watch out for shoulder or respiratory care. You may feel tension in your shoulder or shallow breathing due to hidden stress. There can be foot and joint sensitivity. So, with the heavy energy in Pisces, be careful of minor swelling in the feet or stiff joints if you aren't moving enough. Now, let me also share a few remedies. The very potent remedy for all of us globally, wherever you are and whichever religion you belong to, the first remedy is very important. The secret of Akshat Tritiya that I'm sharing with you is on April 19th. This is the fastest way to multiply your luck on April 19th through charity, through Dan. So you get to get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause, to whatever you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today returns to you multifolds. And for Saturn and Mars together, for this combo, offer help to someone with physically demanding tasks that they cannot longer do, which could be helping an elderly neighbor move heavy furniture, doing some tough gardening for a local community center, or even volunteering to clean a public space. Now, Brigu Samhita suggests that for the 10th house, Karm is the best remedy. And you can also provide water or a cold buttermilk to people who are working in sun, to laborers, or to street workers. All in all, it's a very good month. And I think I want to share one more remedy, which is spend an hour on Saturday teaching a digital or a professional skill to someone who is struggling with technology. This could be like helping a senior citizen set up an app, or coaching a junior colleague who is overwhelmed. And your go-to mantra for the month of April is Om Buddhaya Namaha, or even Ganpati, that is Om Gam Ganpataya Namaha. These both two mantras will be very effective for April. Wishing all the Gemini a very best of April. And if you have any specific questions about your own chart, you can drop us a line in the comment box, or there is a direct number and email ID is also given. Please do comment. I personally reply to all the comments. With this, let's move to the next Lagna. Welcome to all the Cancer rising. Cancer, we have 5 transit this month. From the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this 5 transits matter to you as an individual, but it does. First is it's about timing. So you wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your own inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In the world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather of April 2026 beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. Now let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. So the first transit in this month is on April 2nd, when Mars enter Pisces. Now for Cancer ascendant, this is a month of deep faith and distant journey. Your ninth house is the house of luck, father, higher wisdom, long travel. Now you with your fifth, the Lord Mars. Now fifth house represents intelligence, children, romance, and 10th Lord Mars is also your 10th Lord of career and status, joining Saturn. Now this is a very karmic house cleaning of your belief system. Now, what I mean with this transit is few things can come to surface. Let's see what all can happen. First is you will feel a sudden intense urge to protect your beliefs or traditions and make you very active in religious or philosophical circles. Second is since your career lord Mars is in the house of luck, a major professional breakthrough could come through a mentor, a teacher, or a long distance connection. Mars and Saturn together are classic sign of a clash with your father or a father figure mentor. There might be a coldness or a sudden argument regarding family values or property. There can be wisdom through pain. You might suddenly have to travel for work or a spiritual pilgrimage. However, expect delays, visa issues, or luggage hiccups and double check your tickets. If you are a student or a researcher, you will have the discipline and the drive to finish a huge project, but your mentors might be extra hard on you. Since Saturn rules your eighth house of in laws and it sits in the ninth house, there could be some heavy energy or responsibilities coming from your spouse's family. Avoid filling new lawsuits this month. There can be foreign settlement news for Cancerians looking to move abroad. This ninth 12th connection is very strong, so you might get sudden news that requires a serious financial commitment. Now, Cancerian, you're a sign of emotions and home, but the ninth house is about expansion. So, the Astrodiva tip here is this month, don't argue about right and wrong. You might be 100% right, but Mars and Saturn will make the argument very bitter. So, use your energy to learn something new rather than getting into the arguments. Now, the second transit for you is on April 11th when Mercury enter Pisces. Ninth house is the house of fortune, bhagya, father, higher wisdom, and long distance travel. For you, Mercury rules your third house of communication efforts and siblings, and also your 12th house of foreign losses, spiritual isolation, etc. When these lords join Mars and Saturn in the ninth, your luck house, your luck is being heavily audited by the universe. So, what can you expect from this transit is with Mercury 12th Lord debilitated in the ninth, you might feel a sudden loss of faith or a deep questioning of your own long standing belief. You're moving from blind faith to hard won wisdom. Father's health issue or temper can be on the card. So, your father or a mentor might go through a sudden health issue or a very stressful professional phase. There can be delays on legal documentation. So, since Mercury rules your third house of documentation and is weak and debilitated in ninth, so expect visa delays, contract error, or a fine print headache. So, read everything 3 times. A sudden work related trip to a distant land is on the cards, one that feels more like duty than pleasure. Your third Lord Mercury in ninth can cause heated debates with siblings or neighbors, cousins regarding religion, politics, or family tradition. You might spend a large sum of money on the higher education courses, a pilgrimage, or a specialized technical certification. Because your eighth lord Saturn and 12th lord Mercury are meeting in the ninth house of luck, a misfortune might actually turn into a blessing. An obstacle today saves you from the disaster tomorrow. Trust your dreams more than your spreadsheet this month. One advice we can share with you is Cancerian, you're a sign of emotions and protection. So, ninth house transit is asking you to protect your internal peace over the external reputation. And on April 14th, you will get a massive boost from sun. So, wait for the light to guide you. Next, let's move to the next transit. On April 14th, Sun enters Aries. This is the light I was talking about. This transit marks the pinnacle of your professional year. The Sun is the lord of the second house of wealth, family, and values. It becomes exalted, Ucha, in your 10th house of career. This is a cooler Shrestha, best in the family lineage transit. You are stepping into a period of massive professional visibility and authority. Now, what this transit can bring is first, as your second lord of wealth reaches exaltation in your 10th house, a significant pay rise or a high status title is almost certain. You are seen as an asset by your organization, and recognition from government is also on the card. You have the commanding presence. People naturally look to you for your final word. You have the sun-like aura, makes you a natural leader this month. You can bring family pride. So your success brings great honor to your family. You may become a primary provider or a more successful person in your lineage right now. The second house is also for income, and 10th house action means Your professional work directly creates a massive surge in your bank balance. You may receive vital support from your father or a father figure in your career. Alternatively, you may step into your father's professional shoes as well. With the sun in its highest point, Digbala, the pressure is immense. So ensure you don't become solar and hot that you burn out your subordinates. Now, what does the classic says about it is in Faldipika, the Dhanapati, second lord in Karmastan on 10th as Uch exalted, makes the native Pratapavan powerful, wealthy through its own Purusharth effort and a favorite of the king. So, all in all, it's a very good transit for you. Now, the fourth transit is when Venus entered Taurus. Venus is your fourth lord of home, happiness, mother, and you're also your 11th lord of gains. So, on April 19, Venus entered Taurus in her own sign in the 11th house. Now, this is a Dhana Yoga, wealth alignment of the highest order. When the planet of luxury returns to the house of large gains, your emotional and your financial world finally meet in a state of celebration. Now, what this transit can bring to the surface is first, as your 11th Lord enters 11th house in full strength, a major financial goal is realized. This isn't just a small paycheck, it's a lump sum or a significant exalted gain. You can also have social circle upgrade. You will find yourself invited to high end gatherings, galleries, or elite clubs where the networking is as beautiful as the decor. There is the influencer glow on you as well. So if you are on social media or something, this is a very lucky phase, and your engagement can skyrocket. The group harmony energy is also there in this transit. There is a gain from real estate, your fourth lord of property in your house of gain. You may see a sudden appreciation in your home value or receive a rental income that boosts your lifestyle. Happiness through friends and elder sibling is also there, especially if you have female friends in particular, become your greatest source of joy. They may introduce you to a lucrative opportunity or a new romantic interest can also happen, and siblings will also support you. If you have been dreaming of a luxury car, a home renovation, or a high end vacation, this is the time to manifest it. Now, with so much coming in, you might overspend on your friends or host parties that are too lavish. Enjoy the wealth, but keep the Cancerian shell around your saving. But what does the classical says about it? In Faldipika, it is written that when Lapati, 11th Lord, and Lapstan in 11th house makes the native Bahushruta, highly knowledgeable, Sarvasiddhi, achiever of all the goals, and blessed with Vahanas, vehicles, and yash and fame as well. So, my take on this transit is you spend so much time taking care of everyone Cancerian, everyone else's emotions. Now, this transit is the universe way of paying you back. Venus in her own house, 11th house, says it is okay to be rich and happy at the same time. So, go for it. Now, on April 30th, Mercury will enter Aries. Mercury is your third lord of efforts, communication skills, and your 12th lord of foreign lands and expenditure. On April 30th, Mercury enter Aries and joins exalted Sun. Sun is your second lord. Now, this creates a very high voltage Buddhatitya yoga, intellectual of brilliance. Whenever Mercury and Sun sits together, it creates a very beautiful and powerful Buddha Aditya yoga. At the very top of your chart, your work is no longer just a job, it becomes a global stage. So, what this transit can bring for you, Cancer, first is as your 12th Lord of Foreign joins exalted Sun in the house of career. In your 10th house, you may receive a high profile opportunity involving a foreign company, international travel, or a global project. There will be monetization on the skills. So, your third lord of skills and second lord of wealth in the house of career. Now, this is the ultimate payday for talents. That technical skill you have been refining finally translate into a major salary bump or a lucrative contract. Your speech at work also becomes sharp and precise and impossible to ignore. Since Mercury is the 12th lord, you might invest significant amount into your professional image, a high-end certification, or a new office setup. Now, this is a smart money spent to increase your status. You may be tasked with a secret project or a behind-the-scene leadership role as well. A younger sibling or a close colleague becomes a key partner in your professional rise. Their Mercury logic supports your solar ambition. The Buddha Aditya Yoga ensures you are seen as a genius. You combine the light of the sun with the wit of the Mercury. For Cancerians in media, PR, or tech, your content from third reaches the exalted sun, the audience. Now, this is your best window for viral professional moment. Expect more business trips, meetings, and emails than usual. Your body is busy, but your brand is growing. Now, what this classic says about this transit is when the Lord of the third and 12th joins the second Lord in the 10th, the native gains yash, fame in Videsh, in foreign land, and earns wealth through Vak Chaturya, that is eloquence with your speech. To summarize April month for you, April is your powerhouse month. As the star aligns to push your career and public image into high gear, while the early month brings deep spiritual growth and travel vibes, the energy by 14th, 19th, and 30th clears any professional hurdles, putting you in the prime position for a major promotion or a new life direction. Trust your gut and stay steady. You are transitioning from planning to performing with the universe fully backing your success. Now, best dates for you, Cancer, is April 14, 25th, and 30th. For students, expect a massive boost in your public reputation at school or university. Even authority teachers will view you as a leader. Your focus shifts from just passing to dominating your field as the sun lights up your 10th house. For Cancer rising, we have few indicators and live segment. On personal, it is high. You are highly visible and respected. On career and money, it is high. Top tier professional growth. On social, it is high. Connection with powerful people and especially maybe few women. The Venus will give you that. And love aspect is medium. Health is medium. Now, on health, watch out for eye strain and headache. Watch for tension behind the eyes or mild headache due to increased screen time and high pressure uh, on the career focus. Knees and joints also needs care. So avoid overexertion and stay mindful of joint stiffness. Digestive sensitivity can be also there. So all in all, you need to take care of these aspects. And let me also share a few remedies with you. First remedy is global for anybody under the sun, anywhere in the globe you are or any religion you belong. 19th April, please mark this date on your calendar. It's a good deed day. The fastest way to multiply your luck on April 19th is doing charity, dan. To get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, it's a gift given today, returns to you multifolds. On Saturn and Mars combo, dedicate Saturday morning to deep learning only. Switch off all the notification and spend 1 hour reading a book or taking a course that is difficult like Saturn but exciting like Mars. And your go to mantra for this month is Hanuman Chalisa. Yes, please go to Lord Hanuman to navigate this month successfully. All in all, I think this is a great month for you, Cancerian. And if you have any specific question about your own Kundali, your own birth chart, please drop us a line in the comment box. I personally see all the comments and reply. With this, let's move to the next rising sign. Welcome to all the Leo rising. Leo, we have 5 transit this month. You can see on the screen there are 5 important transits happening this month. And from the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this transit matter to you as an individual, but it does. I will explain. First is it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm. And astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third is it's your strategic edge. In the world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April 2026 beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. Now let's begin, break it down, and let's see what is in store for you for this month. The first transit is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now for Leo ascendant, this is a deep sea diving month. The eighth house is one of the most intense and mysterious part of any chart, which represents transformation, joint finances, secrets, and longevity. Now with your fourth house lord and with your ninth house lord Mars, joining your sixth and seventh lord Saturn, another energy is shifting towards settling karmic accounts. What I mean, this transit can bring various things. Few of them I can share with you is first, the financial tug of war can happen with the eighth house. The eighth house rules other people's money. Expect intense discussion regarding inheritance, insurance, or your spouse's income. You might get a sudden gain, but Saturn will make you fight for every penny. There can be home and property transformation. Since your fourth lord Mars, which represents home, is in the eighth house of transformation, there might be a sudden repair needed at home, or a hidden issue with property can just come up. So it's a month of breaking down to rebuild. Your seventh lord Saturn is caged in eighth with his enemy Mars. So seventh house represents your partner, your spouse. So your partner might go through a very stressful or angry phase. They need your support, but they might be very hard to talk to right now. Watch out for hidden health issues. Specifically, be careful with your lower abdomen, or a chronic issue can just catch up. So avoid extreme sports also for this month. Your ninth Lord Mars in the eighth suggests a sudden change in your father's health or a secret regarding a mentor coming to the light. You are a natural detective this month. Whether it's workplace, politics, or family mysteries, you will sniff out the truth. People cannot lie to you right now. Your intuition is at all time high. And if you study astrology, psychology, or any deep research that you're doing, this is your power month. So, for all the students also, you will make a breakthroughs that others simply cannot see. The second transit is on April 11th when Mercury enter Pisces. The entry of Mercury into Pisces on April 11th creates a triple conjunction in your eighth house. Now, this is the house of sudden transformation, and now so many planets are there in this house. So, for you, Mercury rules your second house of wealth and 11th house of gain. When the Lord of Money, both money houses, enter the house of secrets and losses, while debilitated, joining Mars and Saturn, the financial and emotional stakes are at their highest. So, what it can bring to the surface is first, please do the financial audit. With the second and 11th Lord in the eighth, expect sudden news regarding a loan, tax matter, or inheritance. The money is there, but the paperwork is a mess because Mercury is debilitated. Second is your second lord of speech is debilitated and squeezed by Mars and Saturn. So you might either lose your voice, throat, neck sensitivity, or say something so sharp that it permanently alters your relationship. Your eighth house is also your spouse's wealth. So your partner may face sudden budget cut or a technical error in their income that causes tension at home. This is a gold mine for Leos in astrology research, for students doing PhD, or people who are in psychology. You will see deep secret that others miss. So your intuition is at its peak. Watch your car and your phone. Mechanical failures or blue screen errors are highly likely this month. So back up your data. A hidden fact about family wealth or an old debt from elder sibling is likely to surface in April. With Mars and Saturn in eighth house, be careful with sharp objects and fire, and watch out for your health as well. Your 11th Lord in your eighth house, you might suddenly disappear from your social circle or delete your account for a digital detox. Now, I think everyone needs to do it without any transit. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika on this transit, it is written that when Dhanadipati, the second lord in Ashtam in eighth house with malefic planets with Pap Graha, makes the native lose wealth through chaura, that is theft. Theft can happen, or vivad, or through dispute you can lose, and through speech also, because Mercury is debilitated. So you need to take care of what you speak, especially with your spouse and your family members. So one advice Astro Diva can share with you right now is don't make any major investment and or exit any relationship until April 14th, when the sun, your ruler, enters Aries. Once the sun moves to the ninth, your luck will return to rescue you from the eighth house deaths. Also, reach out to us if you need any private consultation. Please write on the email which is given on the screen, or click on the phone link which is given in the description box to directly reach us. And also, you can drop us a comment if you have any specific question. I personally see and reply to all the comments. The third transit is when Sun enter Aries. Now, for Leo ascendant, Sun is your Lagna Lord, your ruler, your Atma Karak for everybody, the planet that represents you, your body, and your soul. And on April 14, your ruler enter Aries, your ninth house, where it becomes exalted, Ucha. Now, this is arguably the most powerful transit for Leo. When the king enters the house of fortune in its highest dignity, you aren't just lucky, you are divinely protected. Now, what it means for you is the dharma awakening can happen. You feel a massive surge of purpose. Any identity crisis you had earlier in the month vanishes. You know exactly who you are and what you want to do. There is a sudden bhagya or fortune rise. Long stuck project suddenly moves forward as if by magic. Now, this is a grace of Father or a grace of the universe working in your favor. There can be global recognition. So, the ninth house rules long distance travel and foreign lands. So, you may receive an exalted opportunity from abroad or a chance to teach and speak on any international platform. You are likely to encounter a teacher, a guru, or a high level consultant who treats you with loyalty and provides the missing piece of your life puzzle. And academic excellence is also there on the card. So, for Leo students, researchers, this is your PhD moment. There is a legal victory. So, if you have been embroiled in a legal battle, the exalted sun here acts as a judge who favors the righteous victory through the truth is also on the cards. Now, your father may achieve a massive milestone, or your relationship with him reaches a peak of mutual respect and exalted understanding. You will feel untouchable. While this is great for confidence, ensure you don't become a religious or a moral tyrant who thinks their way is the only way. And what does the classic says about the transit? In Faldipika, it is written, Lagnadipati, the first lord in Dharmastan in ninth, when its uch is exalted, makes the native bhagyavan, that is extremely fortunate, and punya atma, virtuous soul, and the one who earns khyati, the fame, across the lands. So all in all, this is a very good transit for you. The next transit we are talking about is when Venus entered Taurus on April 19th. Now, for Leo, Venus is 10th house and 3rd house lord. And on April, Venus returns to her own sign in the 10th house. Now, this is creating a very beautiful Malavya yoga in your house of work, karma. Now, while the sun, your ruler, is exalted in the ninth, and your career lord is now in its strongest possible dignity in the 10th. Now, this is a double coronation. You aren't just powerful, you are diplomatic, beautiful, and highly valued. Now, few things that can be predicted with this transit is there can be the creative executive. What I mean, you lead with a velvet glow. Your authority at work isn't harsh, it's aesthetic and harmonious. So, you may be tasked with redesigning a brand, a workspace, or a corporate strategy. There is public adoration. People don't just respect you now, they admire you. A female boss or a female colleague, a high ranking woman in your industry, or even your mother provides a golden opportunity that stabilizes your career. You might spend money to make your office more beautiful. Alternatively, your company might move to a more prestigious location or upgrade your perks like car, travel, office decor. For Leos in fashion, interior designing, luxury goods, or the arts, this is your masterpiece time of the month. Your work is seen as quality and timeless. Your third lord communication in the 10th, in its own sign. You win arguments by being the most charming person in the room. You negotiate like a pro, and promotion with comforts is also on the cards. Since Venus is the natural significator of marriage, her strength in 10th house can mean your spouse status also rises, or you gain a public title through your partner. You actually start enjoying the daily routine. The heat of the sun in the ninth is balanced by the coolness of Venus in the 10th. So you find your flow. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, it is written that Karmapati 10th Lord in Karmstan in 10th in Swarashi in own sign makes the native Kula Vardhana, that is one who increases the family's honor, and Prasiddha and famous and blessed with Alankara, that is ornaments or jewelry of success. Now, this is one of the wonderful transit for you. With this, let's move to the next transit. The fifth transit for you, Leo Ascendant, is when Mercury enter Aries on April 30th. Now, Mercury is your second lord of wealth, speech, and family, and 11th lord of gains, social circles, and desire. When these two money lords enter your ninth house of fortune, bhagya, on higher wisdom and travel, joins the exalted sun, your Lagan lord, your ascendant lord, you aren't just lucky, you are strategically blessed. With this transit, what can happen is the fortune dividend will come to the surface. With both your wealth lord, second and 11, sitting with your exalted ruler in the Bhagyastan in the ninth house of luck, expect a significant financial windfall. Now, this is a high level money, long term investment or inheritance. Your speech of second house also becomes exalted. So, when you speak about the future philosophy or big picture strategy, people listen as if you are a guru. Your words create wealth. There is gains through higher education also which can happen. So if you are a student, a researcher, a teacher, this Budh Aditya yoga, when Mercury sits with sun, it creates a very beautiful yoga, Budh Aditya. This will bring a massive breakthrough. You might win a scholarship, publish a major paper, or clear a difficult certification. International networking is also on the card, and also there is success in writing. So if you have been wanting to write a book, a blog, or a manifesto, this is the time. They can be wealth from the father, mentor, or the guru. So you may receive gains, financial support, a business lead, or a significant gift from your father or from your mentor. And any travel you take now, a trip to for a seminar, a spiritual retreat, or a high level business meeting in different city or a country will be incredibly profitable. A legal victory is also there on the cards. So what does the classic says about this transit? They call it a Bhagya Labh. The classic in Valdipika, it says when the Lord of second and 11 join the Lagna Lord, the ascendant Lord in the ninth, the native becomes Dharmatma, righteous, and Mahadhani, that is greatly wealthy, and his fortunes like the midday sun. So, all in all, this is a good transit for you, Leo. And to summarize the April month for you, now this month is of deep transformation where you are clearing out old mental baggage to make a room for a major career breakthrough. While the early month feels like a heavy period of settling debts or hidden stresses, the energy shifts beautifully after the 19th, after the 14th, and which will bring massive recognition and new professional heights. So stay patient through the mid-month grind. Your perspective is about to turn into a very public and rewarding success story. Now, best days for you, Leo, is April 1st, 19th, and 28th. And for student, fortune favors your higher education. So it's a perfect month for admission, publishing research, or traveling for study. Your guru energy is high. So don't be surprised if your classmate comes to you for the exalted answers. Now let's look at the life segments and indicators for you. On personal, it is high, strong moral and spiritual alignment. Career and money also it is high, promotion or high status, career, luck, everything is on the card. Social, it is medium because focus is on mentors and VIPs and yourself, so which is good. And love, it is medium. Love is found in high places. Health is a bit low, so avoid reckless behavior. There can be a chronic aches and bones, so pay attention to your bone health. Watch out for sudden flare up of old joint pain or back stiffness, especially during the heavy Mars and Saturn clash mid month. Also pay attention to your digestive stomach and acidity. So with the Sun and Mars firing up your transformation sector, avoid spicy food to prevent acidity or sudden stomach heat. There can be deep fatigue and sleep issues as well. So you may experience heavy exhaustion that requires more rest than usual. So prioritize a consistent sleep schedule to recharge your heart energy. Now, some remedies I want to share with you for this month. The first remedy is global. Anyone under the sun can do it. You may belong to any country or any religion. So mark your calendar on 19th of April. This is the date to do the good deeds or to do the charity. To get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's a animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today returns to you multifolds. I also want to share a remedy on Saturn and Mars combo, which is happening in your eighth house. So find 8 items in your home that represents a past version of you that no longer needed. So, like for your example, for your old clothes, your wristwatches, old watches, photos of people who drained you, or old shoes, donate or discard them. And one more thing you can do is pick up any Saturday in the month of April to financially forensic accounting. What I mean to say is sit down and map out every single debt, interest rate, and insurance policy you have. And your go to mantra for this month is the Mahamrityunjay Jap. Yes, please call upon Shiv. All the best to all the Leo ascendant. And if you have any specific query about your own personal birth chart, please drop us a comment. I personally check all the comments and reply to them. So, with this, let's move to the next Lagna. Welcome to all the Virgo rising. Virgo, we have 5 transit this month. So, from the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this matter? All these transits, 5 transit, how does it matter to you as an individual? But it does. Now, let me explain you. First, it's about timing. So, you wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategy edge. In the world of chaos, knowing your cosmic weather for April 2026 beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So, hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. Now let's begin with the first transit. On April 2nd, Mars will enter Pisces. Now for Virgo ascendant, the action moves into your seventh house. Now this is the house of marriage, business partnership, and public image. Now with your third lord and eighth lord Mars entering and joining Saturn in your seventh house of your relationships. So this is a high pressure testing lab kind of a transit. What I mean is what this transit can bring or to the surface is first with Mars, your eighth lord, joining Saturn, your sixth lord, into your seventh house. A marriage house. So expect explosive arguments. Small disagreements could turn into a cold war very quickly. If you have a business partner, you might feel they are being too controlling or too impulsive. A hidden financial matter could cause a rift. Now, people are watching you closely since seventh houses of your external world. Any anger you show will be seen by everyone, so you need to stay very professional. Your partner may also go through a major life change or health issue. They might feel stuck or under heavy pressure from their own career. And if you are signing any deals, read the fine print twice. Since the sixth Lord Saturn is in the seventh, an old arrival or a legal issue from the past might just pop up in your face, and it's time to settle it once and for all. You will feel a massive pull between I want to do my own things and I have to fulfill my promises. So, this creates internal tension for you. You might travel for work or meet a partner, but expect a delay, car trouble, missed connections, or heated debates during the journey because Mars rules your eighth house of secrets. So, regarding your partner or a close associate, will likely to come out. So, well, I would say it's better to know the truth than live a lie. But don't worry because the mid month shift is there after April 14th when the sun moves to your eighth house. The pressure on your face to face relationship eases, but the focus shifts to joint finances and secrets. Now, one Astro Diva tip I want to share with you in April silence is your superpower, especially till April 14th, the mid month. If your partner provokes you, don't take the bait. Mars wants a fight and Saturn wants a lesson. Choose the lesson and you will save the relationship. Now let's move to the second transit of the month. On April 11th, Mercury enter Pisces. Now for Virgo ascendant, Mercury is your Lagan Lord, your ruler, and it creates a high stakes triple conjunction in your seventh house. Now there are 4 planets in your seventh house. If you see, look on the screen. Now this is a house of marriage, business partnership, and public image, like we spoke earlier. Now Mercury is the most important planet, like I said, the first house lord and your 10th house lord of career. When your ruler enters seventh house and gets debilitated and joins so many warrior like Mars and Saturn, you can feel the tension. So what this transit can bring on the surface is you might feel like you're losing your voice or your power to your spouse or to your business partner. And with your 10th lord of career getting debilitated in seventh, be extremely careful with new business deals. This is a high risk of a hidden clause or a technical error that favors the other party. Your partner may be going through an intensely stressful time as well, because Mars, third and eighth lord, brings accidents or anger, and while Saturn brings heavy duty and illness. As your Lagran lord, your first lord is in the house of public. People are watching you where your every move. A communication error could lead to a sudden shaming or a misunderstanding of your intentions. The seventh house is also fourth from fourth, so it is which is home away from home. So you might travel for work or consider moving uh, for a partner, but the journey will feel forced and physically draining. If you run a business, your systems might fail. Expect a software glitches, lost client emails, or logistics nightmare. Now, despite the weaknesses of debilitated Mercury in the 10th house of action, suggests you might abandon a logical career path for something more creative or spiritual. Now, choose wisely, Virgos here. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, about this transit, it is written, when Lagnadipati, the first lord in seventh, with Papgraha with malefics around, makes the native paraprerit, driven by others, and causes Kalantra dosha, that is distress through spouse. So you need to be a bit patient for these 15 days at least. And one advice we can share with you is stop trying to fix your partner. Use this energy to fix your reaction to them. After 14th of April, the sun moves into 8th and bring the hidden strengths. So until then, stay quiet and observe. The less you say, the less damage you do. The third transit is on April 14th when Sun enter Aries, the most awaited transit. Now, for Virgo ascendant, Sun enters into Aries on April 14th. It's a profound transit. The Sun is the Lord of your 12th house of expenditure, foreign lands, and isolation, and also spirituality, and becomes exalted, Ucha, in the 8th house of sudden transformation. Classic Viprit Raj Yoga energy, strength coming from a difficult place. The Sun illuminates the darkness of the 8th house. Now, few things that can come to the surface in this transit is, first, this is the most powerful time for deep meditation or tantric studies. You aren't just thinking about life, you're experiencing a death and rebirth of your ego. You're becoming a true detective. The exalted sun acts like the flashlight in the dark basement. So you will discover hidden information at work or in your family that gives you the upper hand. If some crisis happens at work or home, you are the one who steps up. The exalted sun gives you the exalted calm to lead others through the storm. The eighth house rules chronic issues. So, sun's heat can burn away the long standing ailment health issues, but it may require a sharp intervention or total change in your metabolic habits. Your partner may receive a massive promotion or a sudden windfall, which in turn stabilizes your joint household finances. You might receive a sudden insurance payout, tax refund, or inheritance that settles an old debt. For Virgos in science, audit, psychology, research, this is your aha moment. You will find exalted answers in the data that everyone else missed. Now, Virgos, you love the logic, but the eighth house is a mystery. So don't try to analyze this transit. Just feel it. The sun is exalted, meaning your intuition is now your best bet and most accurate tool. The next transit is on April 19th when Venus enters Taurus. Now, for Virgo ascendant, Venus is your ninth lord of luck and second lord of wealth. On April 19th, Venus returns to her home in Taurus in your ninth house. Now, this is one of the most spiritually and financially blessed transit for your sign. It creates a sublime flow of fortune, bhagya. After this intense eighth house pressure of sun and this Venetian homecoming feels like a divine excel. So, what I mean this transit can bring to the surface is, first, there is a grace of fortune. As a lord of luck returns to its own house, everything starts to click. Obstacles that required a sixth house struggle simply dissolves under ninth house grace. There is a wealth through wisdom. Since Venus rules your second house of money, her stream in the ninth suggests gains through teaching, publishing, legal wins, or higher consulting. Your knowledge is now your currency. This is the best window for long distance travel. So if you travel, it won't be a budget trip. It will be luxurious, artistic, or a spiritual enriching, likely to a place of a great natural beauty. Your father or a spiritual guide experiences a period of exalted peace. Their support for you becomes tangible, possibly through a financial gift or an opening of doors. You find God through the senses. You might be drawn to beautiful temples, sacred music, or bhakti devotion. Your spiritual practice becomes a source of immense pleasure. Legal resolutions of wins are also on the cards, and also success on higher studies. Your speech from the second Lord becomes filled with wisdom and grace. So when you speak, you sound like a guru. People trust your perspective. Since ninth is the house for fortune and Venus is the planet of love, you may meet a soul level partner while traveling in higher studies in universities or at a place of worship or during some seminars. Now, what does the classic says about this in Faldipika? It is written that when Bhagyapati, the ninth lord in Bhagyastan in ninth house in Swarashi in its own sign, makes the native Dharmatma a soul of virtue, and Shriman, that is rich, and the one who earns the kripa, the grace of the divine through his deeds. Now, this is such a wonderful transit for you. The next transit is on April 30th when Mercury, your Lagan Lord, enters Aries. Mercury is your Lagna Lord, house of your self identity, yourself, your body, and your 10th Lord of career. And on April 30th, it enters Aries and joins exalted Sun in the 8th house of secrets and transformation. Now, this is a Vipreet style of energy. Your ruler is entering the underworld, but it's doing so with a flashlight. Exalted Sun is there. So, you are diving deep to find buried treasure. So, what this transit can bring on the surface is your Lagna Lord when enters 8th, your mind becomes forensic tool. You solve a complex problem at work or in your personal life by looking at the hidden data that no one else sees. Your 10th Lord in the 8th often signals a pivot. You might suddenly change your professional direction or handle a crisis at work so brilliantly that it boosts your status. The 8th house is about other people's money. So, with your ruler joining Exalted Sun here, you may receive an inheritance, a massive tax refund, or an insurance payout, or a spouse sudden financial gain is also on the card. And if you study astrology, psychology, or if you are a research PhD student, this Buddha Aditya Yoga brings a siddhi or a deep breakthrough. You aren't just learning, you are seeing the truth behind the veil. Now, what I mean is when Mercury and Sun sits together, it creates a very beautiful Buddha Aditya Yoga. So, yes, this is happening in your eighth house. You might disappear from the public eye of for in this transit or may work on a secret project. So when you re-emerge, your exalted works turns everyone. When the first lord enters eighth house with sun, you may find a hidden cure or a radical new health protocol that works for you in your favor. It's a rebirth for your vitality. Your communication becomes heavy, so you don't do small talk. You speak the exalted truth even if it is uncomfortable. This gives you respect from powerful people. Your creativity takes a dark and beautiful or intense turn. If you are an artist or a writer, your exalted work right now comes from deepest vulnerabilities. Now, what does the classic says about this? In Faldipika, it is written when the Lagnadipati, the first lord and the 10th lord, enters and joins Surya, exalted sun in the 8th, the native gains Gupta Dhan, that is hidden wealth, and becomes a master of Mantra Shastra, that is sacred uh, technique, or Yantra, that is mechanical logic. So, all in all, it's a very good transit for you. Now, summary for Virgos for April is April is your month to clear the air in your partnerships, moving from confusing misunderstandings into much stronger, more honest connection. While you may face some heavy financial or joint resource stress mid month, the cloud breaks after the 19th, bringing luck through travel or new learning. So, stay patient with those close to you. By the end of the month, you will have the perfect words to resolve any lingering tension and move forward with total clarity. The best dates for you, Virgo, is on April 11th, 20th, and 30th. And for students, you will be the research detectives digging into deep, complex subjects that other find it too difficult. While the middle of the month feels intense, the 30th, the month end, brings a secret intellectual breakthrough that solves a major problem. Now, let's look at life segments and indicators. On personal, it is medium. On career, it is medium. On social, it is low because quality over quantity. And love, it is high. On health, it is low. So watch your reproductive health, your nervous system, your anxiety. The Mercury fog and the relationship tension can lead to mental exhaustion. So prioritize deep breathing to calm your overthinking. And there can be digestive and skin sensitivity. Your gut often reacts to the stress of others. So stick to simple home cooked meals and avoid new skincare products this month. One more thing I want to add is joint and lower back. Yes, with Saturn's heavy influence, watch your stiffness, in especially your lower back or knee. Gentle stretching is better than a heavy workout for April. Now, some remedies I want to share with you is first remedy is global. Anyone under the sun, anyone in for any religion, any country, you can do this. Mark the date, 19th April. This is the date for good deeds, doing good deeds. The fastest way to multiply your luck is on April 19th by doing charity. So to get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of the stars, a gift given today returns to you multifolds. The second remedy I want to share with you is on Mars and Saturn in the seventh house. Now, audit your terms and conditions, service agreements, or even any informal verbal promises that you have made with your partner, business partner, or your life partner. The seventh house is house of legal bonds, and Saturn here demands that everything be on paper and crystal clear. And Mars is the action that you take on that. Also, one more fix I can share with you. Don't take the bait. Saturn in seventh rewards silence and patience. So if you do not react to the provocation, the Mars energy will burn itself out, and Saturn energy will eventually provide you with permanent victory. Your go-to mantra this month is the Mahamrityunjay Jap, which is your protective shield. So go to Lord Shiva. Now, wishing all the Virgos all the best. And if you have any specific question about your birth chart, please drop us a comment in the comment section. I personally see all the comments and reply to them. Welcome to all the Libra ascendants. Libra, we have 5 transits this month. From the modern day perspective, you may think, how does these transits matter to you as an individual? But it does. First, it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your own inner world, helping you understand those secrets urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In a world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. So let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. Now, the first transit is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. For Libra ascendants, April 2026 is a month of hard labor and health realignment. Your sixth house is the house of daily work, health, debts, and enemies. And if you can see on the chart, there are 3 planets here now. And Mars, your second lord for wealth and speech, and seventh lord of relationship and spouse, is joining Saturn and Sun here. Now you are entering a battlefield of the mundane. So you'll be busy fixing things that have been broken for a long time. Now these transits, normally few things will come to the surface. Like first, you will have an incredible, almost aggressive drive to finish your to-do list. Mars and Saturn here makes you a workaholic, but you might clash with co-workers who can't keep up with your pace. One heads up here is sixth house also rules your health and illness. So Mars brings inflammatory fevers here, and Saturn can bring chronic ache. So watch out for food injuries, digestive acidity, or dental issues. There can be a debt clearance. So this is a powerful month to pay off an old loan. There can be relationship service. What I mean is your seventh lord of spouse is in the sixth house of service. So your partner might be going through a tough time on health or work, and you will need to serve them or take care of them. There can be winning over rivals. So if you have any legal cases or secret enemies at work, this conjunction gives you the teeth to fight back. However, victory comes through discipline of Saturn and not just anger of Mars. The home office friction can be there. Since Saturn is your fourth lord of home, is in the sixth, there could be a stress at home because you're too busy working, or there may be repairs needed in your kitchen or bathroom plumbing. Take care of the aggressive speech because Mars, the second lord of speech, speech is in the sixth, makes your tongue a sword. So you might accidentally murder someone's feeling while just trying to state a fact. So think twice before you speak in this transit. Pet and animal care is also on the card. You might find yourself suddenly caring for a pet or a stray animal. This is a very positive way to spend sixth house energies, because sixth house also represents pets and animals. And if you work in auditing, medicine, law, or engineering, this month is gold. Your ability to find errors and fix them is unmatched right now. One Astro Diva tip is here, this transit, you are a fixer. So don't get frustrated by the amount of work on your plate. View it as a karmic cleaning. Is every task you finish now is a weight off your soul for the rest of the year. The second transit is on April 11th, when Mercury will enter Pisces. For Libra ascendants, the entry of Mercury into Pisces on April 11th activates your sixth house of enemies, deaths, diseases, daily service for you. For Libra ascendant, this entry of Mercury into Pisces on April 11th activates your sixth house. And Mercury is like your Yogarka, ruling your ninth house and your 12th house. Ninth house represents luck and father, and 12th house represents expenditure, foreign land, and spiritual growth. So when your luck lord enters the house of dispute in debilitation, joining Mars and Saturn, your daily routine becomes a high intensity battlefield. Now, if you can see on the screen, there are four planets right now in your sixth house. Now, what does it mean for you is your ninth lord of fortune is in the sixth. This means your luck only works when you are solving problem or fighting for a cause, and nothing comes easy. Mercury, the 12th lord of hidden things in the sixth house, suggests secret enemies at work. So someone may be trying to undermine your reputation using technicalities. And one heads up here, watch your intestine, digestion, and feet. Mars and Saturn creates chronic heat, and Mercury brings nervous exhaustion. So stay hydrated. There can be conflict with mentors. Your ninth lord, which represent father and guru, is weak right now in the house of fighting. So you may have a sharp, a logical disagreement with a superior regarding ethics or duty. You are working 12 hours a day. Mars and Saturn gives you the soldier energy, but Mercury makes the communication with colleagues very cluttered and confusing. So be very careful with your communication. You might be assigned to a difficult task involving a foreign client or a remote location. It feels like a punishment right now, but it builds your endurance. Pet health matters is again coming in this transit. The sixth house rules small animals. So your pet might require a sudden trip to the vet or a change in their diet due to inflammatory issues. So please take care of your pets at home. And despite the chaos, you're seeing the flaws in your daily life with surgical precision. Now, this is so good because you're ready to cut out habits or people that are wasting your time. So, Astro Diva's advice on this transit is Librans, you crave balance, but the sixth house is unbalanced right now. So, do not try to be the peacemaker at work right now. Let the warriors, Mars and Saturn, finish their fight. And after April 14th, when the sun enters your seventh house in Aries, your partners and spouse will provide the light and clarity you have been missing. The third transit is on April 14th when Sun enter Aries. Now, this is a relief. For Libra ascendant, the Sun is the lord of your 11th house of gains, social circle, elders, and ambition. And on April 14th, the king of profits, the king of gain, enter Aries, your seventh house of marriage, business, partnership, and public image, where it becomes exalted. Now, this creates a powerful social spotlight. You are shifting from dreaming about your goals to meeting the people who can make them happen. Let me share a few things that can come to the surface with this transit. First is your spouse or business partner achieves a massive exalted milestone. Their success directly boosts your status. And if you're a single, you may meet someone with high authority or a solar charisma. The seventh house is how world sees you. So with an exalted sun here, your reputation reaches a peak. You are seen as an expert, a leader, a VIP in your own community. The 11th Lord of Gains in 7th also means your friendships turns into contracts. You aren't just hanging out, you're forming alliances with influential people. If you are in sales, consulting, or law, this is your gold window. The 11th Lord exaltation brings exalted profit through client interactions. If you're planning a marriage or a partnership, this is the most auspicious time. The union feels grand and supported by society. If you have to present an idea to a crowd or a board, the sun gives you exalted command. No one can argue with your logic or your presence. There will be support from elder mentors as well. An elder sibling or a powerful friend or a mentor from 11th house steps in to help you secure a major contract or partnership. So what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, about this transit, it is mentioned that when Ekadashpati, 11th lord in Saptam, in your 7th house, when it is exalted, makes the native Prasiddha very famous and blessed with a Gunvan, virtuous spouse and wealth through foreign connection. So you are blessed with a virtuous partner or a spouse, and wealth comes through foreign association. Now this is a good transit for you. Now let's move to the next transit. The next transit is on April 19th, when Venus will enter Taurus. Now for Libra, Venus is your Lagna Lord, the planet that represents you, your body, your identity, and also your eighth lord of secret transformation and longevity. So on April 19th, your ruler returns to her home in Taurus in the eighth house. Now this is a profound Vipreet kind of energy. While the eighth house is traditionally Dushtana, difficult house, but Venus is exceptionally strong here in her own sign. So for you, this isn't a crisis, it's a deep power upgrade. You are diving into the shadows and coming up with diamonds. Now let's see what this transit can bring to you. First is, as your ruler enters the house of other people's money, eighth houses for other people's money, you may receive a sudden inheritance, a tax refund, an insurance payout, or a significant gift. Money comes from sources you didn't work for in a traditional sense. Secondly, your aura becomes intensely beautiful. You don't need to speak to command a room. People are drawn to your exalted silence, and they sense that you know some secrets which they don't. In this transit, your partner finances also sees a massive Venetian boost. Their wealth becomes your comfort. Any 8,000 anxiety or fear you have had recently is transformed into beauty. If you're into research or study astrology or tarot or any hidden science, your intuition hits all-time high. So you just aren't learning, you're sensing the truth behind the wheel. If you're dealing with hidden health issues, Venus in her own sign acts as a Sanjeevani, life giver. So she brings the right medicine or a sweet recovery. You have the power to take a negative situation and turn it into the art. This is the best month for shadow work that actually leaves you feeling beautiful rather than drained. Now, this is a very beautiful transit for you, and let's see what classic says about it. In Faldipika, about this transit, it is written that when Lagnadipati, first lord, is in Ashtam, in Swarashi, in own sign, makes the native Dirgha Ayu, that is long lived, a master of Gupta Vidya, that is secret knowledge. You can become a master of secret knowledge, and one who gains wealth through Vivad, the one who gains wealth through disputes, or Paradhana, that is others' wealth. So this is all in all, I think it's a beautiful transit for you. Now let's go to the next transit. So on April 30th, Mercury will enter Aries. Now for Libra Ascendant, Mercury is your ninth lord of fortune, higher wisdom, travel, and your 12th lord as well of foreign land, expenditure, and subconsciousness. So on April 30th, Mercury enters Aries and joins exalted Sun in the 7th house of partnership, marriage, and public image. Now, this is a global partnership alignment. You're bringing your luck and your international connection directly into one-on-one relationship. So what this transit can bring on the table is, first, as your ninth lord luck joins your exalted 11th lord of gains in the 7th house of partnership. Now, this achieves a massive exalted breakthrough. Now, their success becomes your shared fortune. With the 12th lord of foreign in the 7th house of agreement, this is the transit where you sign a major international deal. You might partner with a company or a person from a distant land. If committed, your conversation with your partner shifts from chores to philosophy. So it's a very good time to spend some quality time with your partner. The 7th house is the public house, which with Buddhaditya Yoga here now, Mercury and Sun creates a very beautiful Buddhaditya Yoga. With your exalted voice reaches a massive audience. So you're seen as a guru or a high level consultant. Gains through legal settlements are also possible in this transit. If you're single, you might attract someone who is a traveler, a teacher, or someone from a completely different cultural background. You win over your open enemies or competitors by being the most logical person in the room. You don't fight, you out negotiate them until they want to be your ally. A short trip or a move for a sake of partnership becomes highly likely. So this travel brings exalted status and long-term gains. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, this transit is mentioned as a Bhagya Saptama, that is fortune in seventh house. So when the ninth and 12th lord joins the 11th lord in seventh house, the native gains Videsh Dhana, that is foreign wealth, through vivaha, through marriage or partnership, or through vanijya, through trade. And his fame spreads like a sun's rays through his association. Wow, this is wonderful. So, the summary for your Libra is this month starts with a powerful wake up call for your personal goals, pushing you to stop people pleasing and start prioritizing your own health and routine. While mid month brings a heavy lifting phase at work where you will need to stay disciplined, the energy shifts beautifully after the 19th, opening doors for financial gains and better stability. And by 30th, the pressure finally breaks, giving you the clarity and green light to move forward with your most important plans. The best dates for you in April is April 14th, 19th, and 22nd. And for students, your learning happens through partnerships. Find a study buddy or a mentor who challenges your logic. By the end of month, your ability to debate and present your ideas publicly will be exalted and highly persuasive. Now let's look at the live segments and indicator. On personal, it is medium. Balancing yourself with others is important. Career and money, it is high. Profitable business agreement. Social is also high. You are the host of the season. Love aspect is high. Strong, passionate partnership energy is there. And health is medium. Now, on health, watch out for kidney and lower back. Also, keep hydrated. Stress related to skin and allergy issue can also surface, and foot ankle care is also required. So, ensure you're wearing supportive and rest up if you feel unexplained aches or swelling around your ankle or your lower limbs. Let me also share some remedies with you. The first remedy is a global remedy. This is for anyone in any country, any religion. Mark your calendar. 19th April is the date for doing good deeds. The Akshay Tritiya. So charity is the name for the day. So to get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, the gift given today returns to you multifolds. I also want to give one remedy on Saturn and Mars combo. So provide a pro bono service or protection to someone vulnerable. This could be helping an elderly neighbor secure their home, volunteering for a neighborhood watch, or helping a junior colleague who is being treated unfairly at work. Use your authority and strength to solve problems for someone else. Volunteer at a local community service, sweeping floors, moving boxes, digging soil. This way, you satisfy Saturn and Mars both together. And the most potent remedy for sixth house is go to an animal shelter and clean the floor or walk the dogs. Pet the animals, specifically a black dog or a senior old pets, if possible, to honor Saturn. Now, this is unseen service. Nobody is going to clap for you, and the animals cannot thank you in words. This is the highest form of sixth house seva, sixth house service. It grounds the chaotic Pisces energy which you are into right now and turns the Mars Saturn friction into pure compassion. Now, hope you make use of these remedies that we just discussed. Now, these are very specific with your ascendant lord and your sixth house combo, which can help you to navigate any major issues coming your way. And drop us a line in the comment box if you have any specific question. I personally see and answer all the comments, and wishing you all the best to all the Librans. Welcome to all the Scorpio rising. Scorpio, we have 5 transit this month, which is there on your screen. From the modern day perspective, you may think, how does this transit matter to you as an individual? But it does. First, it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror of your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In the world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather beforehand for April means you are not just reacting, but you are leading. So hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. So let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. Now, the very first transit is happening on April 2nd, start of the month, when Mars enter Pisces in your 5th house. Now, Scorpio ascendant, this transit is intensely creative and emotionally charged. 5th house is the house of intelligence, romance, children, and your Purva Punya, your past life merit. With your Lagna Lord, your Ascendant Lord, and 6th Lord joining Saturn and Sun, your mind is is a battlefield between spontaneous passion and a serious responsibility. So if you look at the chart, you can see three planets there in the fifth house. What it means for you is, with your ruler Mars in fifth house, you are possessed by a project or idea. You will work with surgical precision and a long-term endurance to bring something to life. If you have children, they might be going through a rebellious but disciplined phase. You may feel like you are constantly policing them and leading into a power struggle. A new romance could start with fire but quickly hit a wall. You'll be forced to decide if this person is just a fling or a long term commitment. Your sixth Lord Mars in fifth also means you're using your fighting energy in your thinking process. So watch out for mental exhaustion or hot headed decision. Sudden gains from speculation are also on the cards because fifth house rules the stock market and creativity. You might see a shock again. However, Saturn warns you that don't get greedy, take the profit and run. Your third and fourth Lord Saturn is here in the fifth house. So a sibling might offer unsolicited advice regarding your personal life, your kids, and you may feel heavy responsibility towards your mother or home. Since 10th Lord is in 5th house, you may feel creative at work and take things seriously about your roles and responsibility at your job, at your work, and look for long term gains. You won't be able to sugarcoat anything in this transit. Your speech and creative output will be blunt, honest, and perhaps a bit heavy for others to handle. Now, since three planets are sitting in the fifth house, you need to deal with your creativity, your ideas, your children, your romantic partner with patience. Astro Diva tip is that this transit, your gut feeling is your greatest weapon. If a creative project or a person feels off, trust the feeling. Don't let your Mars ego try to force a victory over Saturn is asking for patience. The second transit is on April 11th when Mercury enter Pisces. Now, the entry of Mercury into Pisces on April 11th completes a high pressure conjunction in your fifth house. Now, there are four planets in your fifth house making conjunction, and it's like more crowded now. So for you, Mercury is a challenging planet, ruling the eighth house of transformation, scandals, sudden changes, but also the 11th house of social circle gains. So these energies join your ascendant Lagna Lord, Mars, in the house of intelligence, romance, and children. Your gut feeling undergoes a massive technical audit. Mercury is getting debilitated here, and Mercury is the lord of logic and intelligence, is getting a little weak here. So, what does it mean for you is first, there is a creative roadblock. You have the passion of Mars and the discipline of Saturn, but the logic, Mercury, is debilitated. So, you may feel a sudden mental fog regarding a major project or an artistic endeavor. If you have children, expect sharp or confusing disagreements. A hidden issue regarding their school or health may require a disciplined approach and your attention. The 11th Lord of Gains is weak in the fifth house of stock market and risks. So do not day trade. You are likely to lose money through a technical glitch or a secret you didn't see coming. With 8th Lord in the house of romance, an old flame or a complicated friend might just resurface. It may feel intense but mentally exhausting. Your fifth house is crowded. Mars and Saturn are grinding your intelligence. So watch for migraines, eye strain, or nervous tension caused by overthinking. You might suddenly become obsessed with complex hidden skill like cryptography, occult research, or intricate digital design. For Scorpio student, this is a heavy week. You know the material, but the ability to explain it, Mercury is drowned in the watery Pisces energy. So take it slow and use intuition over logic. Trust your spiritual gut right now more than your spreadsheets and your logic given by Mercury. One Astrodiva advice here is feed the birds or fish with grains. This cools the fire in your mind and stabilizes your gains. Now, the third transit for you is on April 14 when Sun enter Aries. Now, for a Scorpio ascendant, the Sun entry into Aries on April 14th is a high octane warrior transit. The Sun is the lord of your 10th house of career, fame, and public status and becomes exalted Ucha in the 6th house of competition, daily service, health, and dispute. Now, this creates a Digvijay, victory in all the direction energy. You are taking your professional power of 10th house and applying it to crush the obstacles of 6th house. So, what does it mean for you is first, as your career lord 10th reaches exaltation in the house of fight, you become untouchable at work. If anyone tries to challenge your authority or position, they will be burned by your solar radiance. This is the ultimate transit for winning legal battles or workplace rivalries. So, hidden enemies or competitors simply cannot stand against an exalted 10th lord in your 6th house. If your work involve taxes, law, or state authorities, the sun brings massive exalted win. It's an excellent time to resolve pending official paperwork. There is a health breakthrough as well. The sun is a giver of life, the Atma Karka, and the energy giver. So his exaltation in the house of ailments can burn away chronic health issues, especially those related to digestion or low energy. Your staff or those who serve you will view you as an immense respect, with immense respect. You won't have to demand loyalty. Your exalted presence will command it naturally. For Scorpions appearing for certification exams, interviews, or competitive test, this is your gold medal window. Your 10th house success is literally sitting in the house of test and competition. If you're seeking a business loan, an authoritative figure like Sun is likely to grant it. So, conversely, a sudden professional bonus may also help you to wipe out an old debt. Now, with so much of heat in the sixth house, you might become overly sharp with co-workers. So ensure your exalted command doesn't turn into dictatorial fire that creates new enemies for the future. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, it is written that when Karma Pati, 10th Lord in Shasht, that in 6th house, getting exalted, Ucha makes the native Danda Nitignya, that is master of law and policy, who destroys his rival and gains khyati and gains fame through service. Now, this is a wonderful transit for you. The next transit is on April 19 when Venus entered Taurus. Now, for Scorpio Ascendant, Venus is your seventh lord of marriage, partnership, and 12th lord of foreign land and expenditure. So, on April 19, Venus returns to her home in Taurus in your seventh house. Now, this creates a Malavya Yoga, one of the five royal yogas of Vedic astrology, directly in the house of others, in the house of your spouse and marriage. Now, after a period of intense sixth house warrior energy with Sun, this transit brings a peace treaty signed in gold and silk. Now, what it means for you is, since sixth lord is back in her own sign, your spouse or business partner enters a peak phase of success, beauty, and stability. Their exalted mood becomes the foundation of your happiness as well. The seventh house is for public image, so you become incredibly attracted to the masses. So, if you are a consultant, coach, or a public figure, your client list will grow with high value individuals. For single Scorpion, this is the most auspicious window to meet a Swarashi partner, someone stable, wealthy, and physically beautiful. So for those who are already committed, it's a second honeymoon phase. Now there's a foreign alliance also, as your 12th lord of foreign enters seventh in the partnership, and also in strength, you may sign a lucrative contract with foreign company, with an MNC, or a travel abroad for a partnership deal or with your spouse. Now there will be victory through diplomacy. You win negotiations simply by being the most reasonable and aesthetically pleasing person at the table. You might find yourself spending heavily on gifts for your partner or upgrading your joint lifestyle. Any seventh house legal dispute or open conflicts reach a sweet settlement. The position is willing to talk, and the terms will likely favor long time stability. Now, business expansion is also there on the cards in this transit. As your seventh house, Venus will aspect your first house. So you see your own beauty reflected in the people you attract. You realize that your exalted surrounding are a direct result of your internal shift towards peace. Now, this is a wonderful transit for you. And let's look at what the classic says about it. In Fal Deepika, it is written about this transit is when Saptamapati, seventh lord in Saptam, in seventh in own sign, makes the native Kama Rupa, that is beautiful, handsome, and blessed with Gunvan, virtuous spouse. You are blessed with a very virtuous spouse and highly respected in Videsha, foreign land. So you're highly respected in foreign lands. Now, this is a good transit. Now, let's move to the next. The next transit is Mercury enter Aries at the end of the month on April 30th. Now, for Scorpio, ascendant Mercury is a complex player. What I mean, it rules your eighth house, which is a difficult house of transformation, secrets, chronic issue, and also your 11th house of gain, social circle, and desire. So on April 30th, Mercury enter Aries in the sixth house of death, disease, and enemies. Now here it joins exalted Sun, your 10th lord of career, which is now this is a war room conjunction where you're using high level logic to solve the ugly problem that stand in the way of your success. Now let's see a few things that can come to the surface. First is, as your 11th lord of gains enter sixth lord of service, you make money by fixing things, whether it's a technical bug, a lethal a loophole, or or a logistical nightmare. Your Mercury brain turns a crisis of 8th house into a check. With your 10th lord exalted and your 11th lord in 6th, you are essentially burning the competition. You don't just work harder, you work smarter. Your rivals cannot keep up with your data driven strategy. If you have dealt with a hidden health issue, the Mercury transit brings the exalted specialist or the right diagnostic data to finally name it and fix it. So you heal through your logic and routine. You might use an 11th house windfall to pay off the 6th house debt, or you may find a very clever way to refinance a loan that saves your fortune in the long run. Your daily routine becomes hyper effective. You might automate your task or implement a new software that makes your 10th house career look exalted to your bosses. Now, one heads up, 11th Lord in the 6th can reveal who your hidden enemies are within your social circle. The sun illuminates the truth, and Mercury categorizes with intelligence who stays and who goes. If you are in a legal battle or a dispute, the sun and Mercury Buddhaditya Yoga is a massive shield here. They both are working together to ensure a technical win. You might take over a project or a mess left by someone else and turn it into a gold mine. You find exalted value in the work no one else wanted to touch. Now, one heads up is here, be careful. This 6th house is physical stress. Mercury here with an exalted sun can lead to a brain burnout or create a digestive heat. So you're thinking so fast you might forget to eat or sleep. Your attention to detail is so high right now that your client or coworker will view you as a masterful. You aren't just doing a job; you are setting a standard for all of them. You would enjoy this transit if you love working, actually, and also take care of the pets at your home. Now, what does the classic says about it? It's a Rupa Hanta, destroyer of enemies yoga. Now, when the Lord of 11th and 8th joins in the 10th, joins the 10th Lord in the 6th, the native can gain siddhi, perfection, in his karmas, in his action, and destroy viruddhis, destroy the opponents through his tejas, through his brilliance, and vak siddhi, power of speech. Now, this is so good. This is brilliant, Scorpios. Now, the summary for you for the month of April is the month starts with a high pressure test in your creativity, projects, or with your children, pushing you to stay disciplined while emotion runs very deep. While the mid month demands a health and work reset as your ruler Mars clashes with Saturn, the energy shifts beautifully after the 19th, bringing massive stability and sweetness to your closest relationship. And by the end of the month, on 30th, the fog finally lifts, giving you the perfect words and a green light to launch your boldest ideas with total confidence. Now, best dates for you is on April 2nd, 24th, and 30th. For students, a month of hard labor and technical mastery is there. So, you will find a success by perfecting your daily study routine. You will outwork and outlogic the competition, but watch your pitta, the heat level, to avoid your mental burnout. Now, let's look at the live segments and indicator. On personal, it is medium. Very, very busy, very, very tactical. On career, it is high. You win through sheer labor and logic this month. Social aspect is low. Focus is on work and daily routines. Love aspect is very high. Your partner is supportive and loving, and health is low. So let me talk about health a little bit. Stomach and digestion sensitivity can be there. So avoid outside overly spicy street food, and lower back and core stability also you need to take care. The pressure on the spine is high, so be careful when lifting heavy objects and try simple stretching to keep your lower back flexible. Mental burnout and sleep issues are also there. Your brain is working overtime, so switch off all the screens, your phone, your TV, everything before bed, and this will prevent the heated thoughts from ruining your sleep cycle. Some remedies I want to share here. The first remedy is global. Anybody under the sun can do it, any country, any religion. Mark your calendar. April 19th is the date for doing good deeds, the secret of Akshat Tritiya. To get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today returns to you multifolds. And on Saturn and Mars combo, I want to give a remedy. So do some labor. The labor, it must be a project that takes repetitive efforts like Saturn, and physical strength like Mars. So maybe a physical DIY project that requires a precision and sweat. And volunteer your time to tutor, coach, or mentor a younger person who is struggling with discipline or technical skills. And the best go to mantra for you is Hanuman Chalisa. Please go to Lord Hanuman for this month. Wishing you all the very best And let's move to the next Lagna. And if you have any specific query, please drop it in the comment box and I'll be very happy to answer. Welcome to all the Sagittarius rising. Sagittarius, we have 5 transit for you this month. Now, if you can see on the screen, there are 5 transits you can see. So, from the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this matter as an individual, but it does. First, it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's a strategic edge. In a world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. So let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. The first transit is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now for Sagittarius, April 2026 hits close to home. Literally your fourth house, which rules your home, mother, vehicle and inner peace, is becoming a high pressure zone. Few things that can come to the surface in this transit is Mars and Saturn together often trigger sudden repairs. They both make a good engineer, but you might deal with plumbing issues or structural fixes. It's a break it and fix it month for your living space. So this is a classic car trouble transit as well. So don't ignore minor issues your vehicle is also trying to give you. Just fix it. Second is your mother might experience sudden heat, fever, inflammation, or feel very restricted and frustrated. She will need your patience and not your Sagittarian preaching. Well, I love the Sagittarian preaching. Third thing that can come to surface is with the 12th Lord and second Lord meeting in the fourth, an old family property matter or a hidden expenses related to your home could resurface. The fourth house is your heart, so you might feel a strange mix of high anxiety and heavy sadness, just like that. It's a crowded house right now with so many planets, so you will find it hard to relax in your own bed. There might be thoughts of relocation. So if you have been thinking of moving or going to a foreign place or a secluded place, this transit energy might finally push you to pack your bags. You should spend this month setting up a very disciplined high tech workspace at home. You are moving from leisure to labor in your private life. But don't worry because this transit will come to a halt when the mid month sunrise, after April 14, when Sun enters the fifth house, your mood shifts dramatically. You will stop obsessing over home issues and find joy in creativity, romance, and your children. The next transit is on April 11th when Mercury enter Pisces. Now, for Sagittarius ascendant, the entry of Mercury into Pisces on April 11th completes a turbulent, crowded conjunction in your fourth house. This is the house of home, mother, property, and Sukha inner peace. Now, there are 4 planets here. So, for you, Mercury is extremely significant planet as it rules your 7th house and your 10th house. 7th house of marriage and partnership, and 10th house of career. So when your career and relationship lord enters the house of home, but in debilitation, joining Mars and Saturn, your private life becomes a high pressure boardroom. Now, what I mean by this is this transit can bring few things on surface. First, work from home chaos can happen. With the 10th lord of career debilitated in fourth house, your office might literally move into your living room, or a professional crisis can force you to stay at home. The fourth house is crowded with Mars and Saturn, the heat and cold. So your mother may face nervous exhaustion or a sudden inflammatory issue. Avoid buying a home or signing a lease between this transit. The debilitated Mercury suggests hidden defects in the structure or on the paperwork. The seventh lord spouse is weak right now in the fourth house. So your partner may feel drowned by family responsibility or choose to stay silent rather than fight. So pay attention to them. Expect a Wi-Fi, the plumbing, or the home security system to go for a glitch here, because Mars, Saturn, Mercury in water sign Pisces often trigger water-related appliance damage. There can be loss of inner peace of Sukha. You will find it hard to relax. Your mind, Mercury, is caught between what I must do for work and what I must do for family. So be gentle with yourself as well. Vehicle repairs, I already told you, can be there on the cards. The relocation is also covered. The impulse will be there, but I would still suggest to wait for April 14. One heads up is Saturn brings the past. So you might have a heavy conversation with a family member regarding an old childhood misunderstanding or a secret. So it would be like you will try to be the sage, the Sagittarius self of the house, but the fourth house pressure will make you feel like a warrior, like Mars, forced to play janitor like a Saturn. So it's a tricky one. What does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, it says Karma Patya, 10th Lord in Sukh house with malefic Pap Grahas around makes the native work hard and for the family, but the debilitated Mercury can cause mental fog. So the advice here, Sagittarius, is you are a sign of expansion, but the fourth house is currently restricting you. So don't try to win every argument at home. If the sink leaks or if a Wi-Fi dies, treat it as a karmic cleanse. After April 14, when the sun enters your fifth house, your creativity spark and joy will return to pull you out of this domestic fog and stay patient. Yes, the next transit is on April 14 when Sun enter Aries. Now, this is a relief for you. For Sagittarius ascendant, Sun enters Aries on 14th. Now, this is a divine spark of joy and creativity. The Sun is the lord of your ninth house of your luck. So, and it gets exalted, Ucha, in your fifth house of intelligence. Now, this creates a Lakshmi Stan connection. The Lord of Trine entering another trine in the peak strength. Now, this is one of the most auspicious transit for your sign. Now, what this transit can bring to the surface is your intelligence is exalted. So, if you have been stuck on creative or technical problem, the solution arrives like a flash of lighting. You are thinking on very high frequency right now. And since your ninth lord of fortune is exalted, unexpected opportunities just happen. Now, this is a time when your past life merits also start showing up bearing fruits. If you have children, they may achieve a massive exalted milestone, or your relationship with them becomes deeply respectful and authoritative. The fifth house rules the stock market and risk. While you should always be careful, your gut feeling for investment is at all-time high. A luck-based gain is highly possible. The fifth house is also for mantra bhava, for chanting. So this is the best month to start a new spiritual practice or a mantra. Your words have exalted power and manifestation ability. Support from father and guru is also there on the cards. And for Sagittarian student, this is a gold medal transit. Your ability to grasp complex subjects is effortless, and you may receive high honors or prestigious scholarship as well. Now, what does the classic says about this transit in Faldipika? It is written when Navampati, ninth lord in Pancham in fifth exalted, creates a Dharma Karmadipati like grace, making the native Ati Chatur extremely wise, Putra Bhagya, luck with progeny and luck with children. So, all in all, this is a good transit for you. The next transit is on April 19th when Venus entered Taurus. Now, for Sagittarian, Venus is your sixth lord and 11th lord. And on April 19th, when Venus returns her own sign, Taurus, in the sixth house. Now, this is a very unique Vipreet style energy. While the sixth house is traditionally tough, a planet in its own sign strengthens the house it sits in. So, for you, this means you are beautifying the struggle and tuning your daily chores into a source of exalted value. Now, what I mean, this transit can bring few things on the surface. First is your daily work routine becomes much more pleasant. You might decorate your workspace, get more comfortable chair, or find out your to-do list feels like a creative flow rather than a burden. There can be victory through diplomacy. As the 11th lord of gains enter the sixth house of competition in strength, you win over rivals not by attacking them, but by being more likable and stable than they are. There can be healing through luxury. So if you have had a health niggles, this is the time for somatic healing. Like think of massage, aromatherapy, or high quality organic diet. You heal through the senses and not through harsh medicine. There can be financial gains from service. You might receive a bonus or a new income stream, especially through your daily service or a side hustle involving Venetian themes like beauty, food, art. There is office harmony on the card. So if there has been tension with co-workers or subordinates, Venus sweetens the atmosphere. So you might find yourself organizing a team lunch or a beautiful collaborative project. The pet joy is also on the card. The sixth house rules our pets, small animals. So you might adopt a beautiful pet or find immense Venetian happiness through your current pets at home. They become a source of your happiness and peace. You have the exalted clarity to refinance a loan or settle a debt under very favorable sweet terms. The interest becomes manageable. You solve ugly problems with beautiful solutions as well. Now, there is a luxury fatigue. What I mean is because the sixth house is also about physical drain, be careful of overindulging in rich food or expensive habits that could lead to a sweet tooth related health issues. So keep a check on your credit card and your watch your budget as well. Now, what does the Faldipika classic says about it? When Shashtapati, sixth lord in sixth in own sign, when the sixth lord is in sixth house in its own sign, makes the native Arihanta, destroyer of enemies, who gains dhana, wealth, through hard labor and remains rog mukta, that is free from all the diseases. And this is a wonderful transit. The next transit is on April 30th, end of the month, when Mercury enter Aries. Now, for Sagittarius ascendant, Mercury is a heavy lifter. It rules your seventh house of partnership, marriage, and 10th house of career and status. And on April 30th, Mercury is no more debilitated. It enters Aries and joins exalted Sun, your ninth lord of luck, in your fifth house of creativity. This creates a spectacular Buddhaditya yoga. Mercury and Sun together make a very good, beautiful yoga, and this happens in your house of past merit, past life credit. So your career, 10,000, your relationship are now being fueled by pure inspiration. What it means is, as your 10th lord enters fifth house, your professional life becomes a playground for your ideas. You aren't just managing, you are innovating. This is the best week to pitch a brilliant new project. With the Lord of Commerce Mercury joining the exalted Sun in the fifth, your gut feeling about stock, crypto, and investments is backed by high level logic. So a calculated risk taken now could bring an exalted return, but we would still advise to be watchful. If single, you may attract a partner who is genius, a writer, or a high-ranking professional. The connection starts with a meeting of the minds rather than just the physical attraction. Your hidden talents are brought into the public eye. So you might receive an award, a standing ovation, or a massive spike in your professional reputation. You may start a business venture or a creative project involving children, students, or a younger demographic. Your seventh lord in the fifth makes this a golden collaboration. If you're a writer, coder, or artist, your personal expression of fifth house reaches an exalted professional standard. Now, this is the week to publish your best work. There is a joy through travel and through learning as well. And if you have children, your relationship with them becomes highly communicative. You might help them with a major milestone like an exam or a presentation where they shine brightly. The fifth house is also the house of mantras. So, with your career and partnership Lord here, what you visualize and speak with authority starts to materialize in your reality. What the classic says about it, it says the Vidya Karmadhipati, wisdom and action about this transit. This is so nice. So they say when the Lord in Faldipika, when the Lord of the 10th and 7th joins in the ninth, joins with the ninth Lord in the fifth, and the native becomes Ati Chatur, extremely skillful, and Shastragnya, knower of the science, knower of the knowledge. He gains wealth through his pratibha, through he gains knowledge through his brilliance, and the help of a Rajatulya. You get a help of a king-like partner. So this is so brilliant. Now, to summarize for you, month the Mercury fog and family friction slowly settles, allowing you to move from feeling stuck at home into much more exciting and creative phase. Mid-month might bring a sudden romantic or creative opportunity that feels like a breakthrough. But remember to stay grounded. And by the 30th, you'll feel a massive surge of freedom and clarity, giving you the perfect green light to express your truest self and take the bold leap towards your future. Now, the best dates for you is April 14, 26th, and 30th. And for students, your intelligence is exalted this month. It's a brilliant time for creative writing, arts, or any competitive paper or exam. You will find that luck meets logic in your house of education, a rare and winning combo. So I'm very happy for the students. Now, Sagittarius, let's look at the life segment and indicators. Personal is high, confidence is through the roof, career and money is high, gains through creative risk. Social aspect is high, you're funny, witty, and popular. And love aspect is also high. Romance is exciting and fresh. And health is also high. So, all in all, Sagittarius, I would say you're the winner for the month of April, because all indicators are saying, they are saying high. So, I think you should make best use of it. On health, just a few things I wanted to share, that keep a watch on your stomach and digestion, lower back and core stability, and mental burnout and sleep. Rest all looks so good. And let me also share some remedies. One of the remedies on Akshat Tritiya. Now, this is a beautiful day for everybody under the sun globally, wherever you are, whichever country, whichever religion, doesn't mind. Mark the calendar on April 19th. This is the day for charity. So to get, you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's animal shelter, food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today returns to you multifolds. And I've tried it Personally, it does happen. And second remedy I want to share is on Mars and Saturn combo. So anyone running Sade Sati or something, Sagittarius, your peace of mind starts at home this month, but it won't come from sitting still. Saturn and Mars are demanding effort, whether you are fixing your own foundation, volunteering at a shelter, or working the land. Put your hands to work. When you build security for others, you secure your own inner peace. And do the labor to appease Saturn. Focus on heavy cleaning or repair, scrubbing floor, moving furniture to clean behind it, or just reorganize a pantry from the scratch. Engage in hard landscaping or gardening, digging a trench, planting a plant, tree, or hauling bags of soil. Now, it must be exhausting. This must be physical work with the soil and earth to appease Mars. Remember, Mars is the son of Earth. We call Mars a Bhumi Putra. Now, wishing all the charming Sagittarius all the best. I'm so happy to read all the indicators high and just make good use of it. But still, if you have any specific question about your own birth chart, please don't hesitate. Drop a comment. I personally see and reply to all the comments. Now, with this, let's move to the next Lagna. Welcome to all the Capricorn rising. Capricorn, we have 5 transits this month. If you can see on the screen, there are 5 beautiful transits happening this month. From the modern day perspective, you may think, how does this 5 transits matter to you as an individual? But it does. Let me explain. First, it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand your secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In a world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather beforehand for April means you are not reacting, you are just leading. Hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. So let's break it down and let's see what's in store for you for the month of April. So the first transit is happening on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now for Capricorn ascendant, this is a high octane transit that your third house is actually crowded. This is the house of effort, communication, sibling, and short travels. As a Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn. And when your ruler meets Mars in the third house, your drive to succeed becomes unstoppable, but your words might become lethal. So let's check what this transit can bring. Your speech will have the weight of Saturn and the fire of Mars. You will be incredibly persuasive in meetings, but you might sound like a drill sergeant to your family members. Mars and Saturn together often trigger cold wars or sudden blow ups with your siblings, cousins, neighbors. Someone might be hiding a secret that comes to light. There is a busy bee syndrome also as well. So you will have 100 small tasks to do every day. Your 11th lot of gains in third means your effort is directly tied to your income this month. So if you work, you win. Short travel glitches is also on the card. So you might go on many short trips for work. However, with Saturn and Mars there, expect traffic jams, engine trouble, or paperwork delays. Leave 30 minutes early for everything. This is the best month to learn new hard skill, coding, a new language, or even a craft like woodworking. Your focus is sharp and disciplined. There is a writing and media success as well. So if you are a blogger, YouTuber, a writer, this high energy in third house makes your content go viral. So it's a heavy, it can be heavy content, but it's impactful. There can be wealth through bravery. Your second lord in third, you might take a calculated risk with your saving or investment in a communication based business. The third house also rules your hands and shoulders, so watch out for strains, sharp pains, or repetitive motion injuries like carpal tunnel or your wrist fatigue. There is a courage over fear, so you will feel a sudden urge that I can do this energy kind of thing. So even if you were scared of any project in the month of March, by April, you will have the Mars Saturn grit to finish it. Now, the Astro Diva tip is this month your hands are your best friends. Whether you're typing, cooking, building, use your physical energy to create something. If you sit still, the Saturn and Mars energy will turn into anxiety. So, move your body to keep your mind clear. And feeding birds every morning will help clear the clutter from your path and keep your luck flowing. The second transit is on April 11th when Mercury will enter Pisces. Now, for Capricorn ascendant, Mercury entry into Pisces on April 11th charges up your third house again of effort, communication, courage, and sibling. Now, this is the fourth planet joining your third house. So, for you, Mercury rules your sixth house and ninth house of luck, and transit into third house, but it is getting debilitated. It joins Saturn and Mars, and you become a powerhouse of productivity, but your mental fuse is dangerously short. What it means is you will have an obsessive drive to finish tasks with your ruler Saturn and Mars. In third, you're working like a machine, but Mercury, your intelligence, your logic makes the logistics messy. So, younger sibling or cousin may also feel face crisis or have a very sharp technical disagreement with you regarding family or luck or inheritance. Your ninth lord of ethics is weak in the house of speech, so you might say something brutally honest that sounds cruel to others. So, watch your tone. Short travel glitches will be there. So, if you travel for work, expect Mercury style chaos like wrong direction, lost ticket, or technical car trouble. So, check your GPS and tickets twice. This is the best time to learn a difficult skill like coding, mechanics, or surgery. So your focus is Saturnian, but your hands are like mass quick. So it's a good one. Luck through labor can happen. So your ninth lord of fortune is in the house of effort. So this means luck won't find you. You have to go find it. So success comes through only manual or mental sweat. Hand and shoulder sensitivity can be there. So the third house rules are arms and shoulders. So watch out for strains, nervous tremors, or repetitive motion injuries. Take breaks from the keyboard. Since the sixth lord is in third, you will crush your competition. However, the win will feel exhausting and mentally noisy. Intuitive writing is on also on the card. So if you are a writer, content creator, you will move away from logic and start producing deep, soulful content. The next transit is on April 14 when Sun enter Aries. For Capricorn ascendant, the Sun entry into Aries on April 14 illuminates your fourth house of home, mother, land, vehicles, and inner peace. Your Sukha. The Sun is the Lord of 8,000, gets exalted in your fourth house. Now, this creates an intense Viprit like energy where deep transformation from eighth house brings a massive upgrade to your personal life and to your status. What it means is, as a lord of secrets and depth of eighth house reaches exaltation in fourth house, your home, you might suddenly decide to renovate, buy a prestigious property, or overhaul your living space into something more authoritative and bright. Your mother may achieve significant professional milestone or exhibit an exalted level of health and confidence. She becomes a pillar of strength for you this month. Now, this is a classic window for receiving land or a house through an inheritance or a sudden legal settlement, which eighth house lord can influence. Now, you may find yourself purchasing a vehicle that reflects a higher status. The sun's exaltation here suggests a commanding presence on the road. Now, there can be inner peace through research. You find your happiness not in shallow things, but in deep occult or psychological studies. You might find a hidden gem of a property, one that was off the market or involved a complex legal situation, and you can secure it with exalted authority. And if you work from home, your home office becomes a seat of power. You feel like a king or a queen in your own castle, and your professional output from home is exalted. Now, there is a heads up the heartburn alert with exalted sun in the fourth. Ensure your inner fire doesn't turn into domestic heat. Don't be very authoritative at home, that your family feels ruled rather than loved. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, it is written when Ashtamadipati, eighth lord, in Chaturth, in fourth, as exalted Ucha, brings Bhumi Labh, gains of land, through sudden turns of fate. Yet the native must guard the Hridaya, the heart, from excessive heat. The next transit is on April 19 when Venus entered Taurus. For Capricorn, Venus is your Yoga Karka, your beneficial planet, your most beneficial planet actually, ruling fifth house and 10th house. On April 19, Venus returns to her home in Taurus in your fifth house. Now, this is a crown jewel transit to Capricorn. It creates a Malavya yoga. It is one of the beautiful yoga in the house of creativity, romance, and intelligence. So, after the heavy eighth house sun transit, this is the period of exalted joy. Now, let's see what this transit can bring. As your career lord of 10th house enters the fifth house in strength, your professional talents become source of art. So, if you're a designer, writer, entrepreneur, you produce your most beautiful and profitable work now. The fifth house is the seat of romance. So Venus here in her own sign brings a soul level connection. So if you are single, you attract someone stable, sensual, and high value. If committed, your relationship feels like a masterpiece. And there can be joy through children. So if you have children, they may achieve major milestone that brings immense Venetian pride to the family. If you're trying to conceive, this is one of the most fertile and auspicious window of the year. You solve complex problems with aesthetic logic. You don't find the answer, you find the most elegant answer. Your 10th lord of fame sitting in the fifth house of stage, you may receive an award, a standing ovation, or a viral movement for a project you have been working on in private. You finally give yourself permission to play. You might spend money on high art, entertainment, opera, galleries, or fine dining. Your fun becomes exalted. The mantra siddhi is also there on the card. This is the best time for spiritual chanting or starting a new creative sadhana. Your prayers have a sweet and stable manifestation power right now. Now, Capricorn is often seen as a cold or stoic. This transit melts the ice around your heart. You feel safe to express deep affection and your vulnerabilities. Now, what does the classic says about it in Faldipika? It is mentioned Yogakarka Shukra Venus in Pancham in fifth in Swarashi in its own sign makes the native Ati Bhagyavan extremely fortunate, a master of Kala, the master of arts, and the one whose children bring Kula Deepaka, that is the light to the lineage. So the children can become or bring light to the family. The next transit is on April 30th, end of the month, when Mercury will enter Aries. Mercury is no more debilitated now. So for Capricorn, Ascendant Mercury is vital Yogakarka type of planet. It rules your sixth house, but your ninth house of luck. So on April 30th, Mercury enter Aries in the fourth house, the house of happiness, home, mother, fixed assets. So here it joins exalted sun. Now this is a foundation shaking conjunction in the most private part of your chart. Few things that can come to the surface is as your sixth lord of work enters the fourth lord, you might finally set up a high tech home office or start a remote work phase that feels incredibly efficient. You are bringing your professional logic into your personal space. Your ninth lord of luck is in the fourth with an exalted sun. So this is a prime signature for inheriting property, finding the hidden gem or a real estate deal, or seeing massive value spike in your current home. There can be healing bond with your mother. So this can signal a deep, exalted conversation that heals long-standing family secret or a health issue for your mother. Usually, Capricorn find a peace in doing, but this is a Buddha Aditya yoga in the fourth house. Whenever Sun and Mercury sits together, they form a very beautiful Buddha Aditya yoga. So you find peace in knowing. Studying a higher level subject or researching your family lineage brings you a sense of exalted security. If there has been any legal issues from the sixth house regarding land or family dispute, Mercury's logic and Sun's authority help you close the case in your favor. You outmaneuver the opposition with paperwork and logic. You may purchase a vehicle that is tech heavy or mercurial, that is electric smart feature. Since the ninth lord is also involved, this car might be used for long, fortunate journeys or spiritual pilgrimage. You may also get interested in smart home appliances in this transit. Now, what does the classic says about it? It says Sukha Bhagya, happiness and fortune about this transit. In Faldipika, it is written when the Lord of Nine sits in the fourth with eighth Lord, the native gains Achala Sampatti, immovable property, through Gupta Vidya, through secret knowledge, or Pitra Arjita, that is through ancestral wealth. His home becomes seat of Tejas. The home becomes, seat like a brilliance. So, wow, Capricorn, this seems to be a favorable transit for you. A summary for you this month starts with a high pressure test in your local environment and communications, pushing you to stay disciplined while others are caught in the mercury fog. While mid-month demands a serious focus on your home and family stability as your ruler Saturn clashes with Mars, the energy shifts beautifully after the 19th, bringing massive creativity and joy to your romantic life and hobbies. And by 30th, the pressure finally breaks, giving you a lot of success in the month of May. There is a green light to speak your mind and authority and move forward with total peace at home. States for you is April 10th, 19th, and 28th. And for students, Capricorn, focus on your home environment as your sanctuary for study. A quiet, organized desk will lead to massive gains. You may find that a family member or your mother provides the missing piece of information you need to succeed. Now, let's look at the life segments and indicator. Personal, it is medium. Focus on inner happiness this month. Career, it is medium. Social aspect is medium. Love aspect is high. And health is medium. Now, on health, I just wanted to add two bit. Shoulder and arm tension can be there. Chest and lung sensitivity can be there. And ear and throat sensitivity can be there. So, take good care. And a few remedies I want to share. First remedy is global for anyone under the sun, any living being. Mark your calendar, 19th April is the date. This is the day to give for charity, for doing charity. So, to get, you must give. So, donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, the gift given today will return to you multifolds. Remedy 2 is on Saturn and Mars combo. So, your hands and your voice are your greatest tool this month. Saturn and Mars are demanding efforts in your local world. So, don't just think about change, physically build it. Whether you are cleaning up your street, fixing a neighbor's tech, or speaking up for the voiceless, your labor is your protection. So when you work for your community or for others, the universe works for you. And your go-to mantra for this month is chant Mahamrityunjay Jap. Yes, please go to Lord Shiv. So, wishing all the sincere Capricorns all the very best for the month of April. And if you have any specific query about your own birth chart, please put it in the comments. I personally see all the comments and reply to them. With this, let's move to the next Lagna. Welcome to all the Aquarius rising. Aquarius, we have 5 transit this month. You can see on the screen there are 5 transits happening in the month of April. Now, from the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this transit matter to you as an individual? But it does. Let me explain. First, it's about timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your own inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In the world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April beforehand means you aren't just reacting, you are leading. So, hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. And let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. The first transit is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces. Now, for Aquarius Ascendant, April 2026 hits your second house, the house of wealth, family, speech, and values. Since you are ruled by Saturn, having your ruler joined by Mars in the house of treasury creates a very intense, high stakes financially, the financial atmosphere. So you are moving from thinking about money to fighting for it. So, what it means for you is first, Mars, your 10th Lord of Career in the second house of money, means a sudden boost in income or a new project. However, with Saturn there, you might feel like you are saving every penny or dealing with heavy taxes or debts. Now, there is a heads up for this transit of harsh speech and acid tongue. With Mars and Saturn in your mouth house, you will be brutally honest. You might murder a family relationship with a single sentence. So, think 10 times before you speak this transit. Your siblings also might have the conflict with your parents and elders. So, there's a heated environment in the family area. You might suddenly decide to go on a very strict diet because of Saturn, or cut out on stimulants with Mars, and watch out for dental pain or throat infection. Heat in the second house is there. Your 12th lord in the second means you might have invisible expenses. So, money that seems to disappear into thin air for unavoidable reasons. Because your 10th Lord Mars is here, your status at work directly tied to how you handle your value. It's a great one to ask for a raise, but the negotiation will be tough. You might spend a significant amount of money on a technical course or a communication tool like a new phone or a new laptop. Even if you are panicking inside about your bank balance, you will project an image of extreme discipline and stone cold confidence to the world. One Astro Diva tip I want to share with you is the transit. In this transit, silence is gold. So if you feel the urge to correct someone in the family, take a sip of water instead. Use the Mars Saturn energy to restructure your budget and not to burn your bridges. Your wallet will thank you, your relatives will too. The next transit is on April 11th when Mercury enter Pisces. For an Aquarius, Mercury enter Pisces on April 11th completes a high stakes of this crowded conjunction in your second house. Now, this is the house of accumulated wealth, kosh, family, kutum, speech, vak, and values. Now, for you, Mercury is an essential planet as it rules your fifth house of intelligence and eighth house of secrets and transformation. When your intelligence lord enters the treasury, but in debilitation, joining the Lagna Lord Saturn and Mars, your bank balance and family life becomes a volatile laboratory. What I mean is, with the fifth and eighth Lord in the second house, expect sudden news regarding a legacy, tax refund, or insurance. The money arrives, but the maths, Mercury, is complex and confusing. Your second house of speech is hit by eighth Lord of secrets and third Lord by Mars. So you might accidentally reveal a dark secret or say something so cutting it ends a family bond. You need to be very careful with your speech, Aquarius, this month. It seems like it's repeating in all of your transits. There is a speculation warning. Your fifth lord of investment is debilitated, so do not day trade. Any sure thing tip you get from social circle is likely a trap. A deep-seated family secret or a old inheritance issue will likely resurface. Saturn wants rules and Mars wants action, and Mercury is currently confused. So I would say just keep the patience. And you might spend a significant amount on fixing things, a car, a computer, or even for your dental work. You are redefining what is valuable, so you are moving away from flashy things towards technical and structural assets. Now, what does the classic says about this transit in Faldipika? The Dhanadipati second house with the Lord of Eighth and the Lagni Saturn makes the native Alpabhashi, that is silent yet karkash, harsh, causing kutumba virod, family dispute. So the only remedy I can share here is listen more than you speak in this transit. The next one is on April 14 when Sun enter Aries. For an Aquarius ascendant, the Sun entry into Aries on April 14th is high voltage surge of energy. The Sun is the lord of your seventh house of spouse and marriage and partnership and is becoming exalted, Ucha, in the third house of courage, communication, and short travels. Now, this is a Vikrama Valor transit. Your partner or public energy moves into your hands, giving you the power to manifest your desire through sheer willpower and bold speech. What I mean is, your seventh lord of contract and partnership is exalted in the house of communication. So, you will have an exalted ability to convince others. And if you have been waiting to sign a deal, this is the time to lead the conversation. Any hesitation you felt in March or early April vanishes. You have the solar courage to take the massive risk. So, start a new project or stand up to a challenge that previously intimidated you. Your younger sibling or close teammates may achieve a significant exalted milestone. Alternatively, your relationship with them also becomes the source of great pride and authority. Because the seventh lord represents the public, his exaltation in the third means you shine in front of the audience. So, your social media or public speaking takes a royal quality. You may take a trip for business that results in a major win. These travels aren't just for fun, they are exalted missions that brings recognition. Your partner becomes your biggest cheerleader and marketing agent. They may actively help you with your daily task or your business communication. The third house rules the hands and the arms, so this is the best times to master a difficult craft, instrument, or a technical skill. Your manual dexterity is at all time high. Now, one heads up here is with an exalted sun in the third, your speech can become too hot. So, ensure your truth isn't so sharp that it unnecessarily wounds the people you work with daily. Now, what does the classic says about this transit in Faldipika? Saptamapati, seventh lord in Tritiya and third as Ucha exalted, makes the native Ati Tejasi very radiant. And his efforts are blessed with spouse who is Parakrami, valiant, and helpful in Karaka's work. So the spouse is also helpful and will help you in your work. Now, speech is coming to be watched in all the transit for you, Aquarius. Hope you have noted it. Now, the next transit is on April 19th when Venus entered Taurus. Now, for Aquarius ascendant, Venus is your Yoga Karaka, the most powerful and auspicious planet, ruling your fourth house of home, mother, peace, inner peace, and ninth house of luck. So, yes, Venus is very, very important planet for you. And on April 19th, Venus returns to her home in Taurus in the fourth house. Very beautiful. Now, this creates a Malavya yoga, a great royal yoga in your house of happiness. Now, this is a massive soul level upgrade for your internal and external environment. What I mean is, first, as your fourth lord returns home, your living space become a palace. You may renovate, buy luxury furniture, simply find that your home feels exalted. You find deep, tangible peace within your four walls. There can be sudden real estate luck. What I mean, since Venus, the Lord of Wealth, also rules your ninth house of luck. And this is a golden window for property deals. You might inherit a land, close a profitable real estate contract, or find your dream home. Your mother experiences a period of great health, wealth, or happiness. Her blessings become your exalted protection, and your relationship with her reaches a peak of mutual respect and beauty. The fourth house rules vahanas, vehicles. So you may find yourself purchasing a vehicle that isn't just functional but reflects a high Venetian status. Think comfort, aesthetics, and smooth rides. The mental anxiety in the early April dissolves now. You feel an exalted calm. You aren't just happy; you are deeply content with you and wherever you live. You may start a successful home based business as well, or find that staying close to your roots brings you more financial gain than traveling abroad. Since the Night Lord of Dharma and ancestor is sitting in the fourth house, you might feel a sudden connection to your heritage. This is the best time to perform rituals that honor your lineage. You become the royal host. Friends and family will want to gather at your home. Your dinner parties or family get togethers will be remembered for their exalted elegance and warmth. If you're a student or a researcher, you will find the most exalted focus while studying in your personal sanctuary. You might complete major certification or degree from your home base. This is the fixed happiness transit. What I mean is, Taurus is a fixed sign. This happiness isn't a passing cloud. The stability you build in your personal life after April 19th is designed to last for years. Now, what does the classic says about it? In Faldipika, it says, when Yoga Karka Shukra Venus is in 4000 Chaturth in Swarashi, known sign, makes the native Sukhi, happy, and Bhumiman, owner of lands, and one who lives in the Chitrashala house filled with arts like a king. So looks like a wonderful transit for you. Now the next transit is on April 30th in the month end when Mercury enter Aries. Now for Aquarius ascendant, Mercury is a vital functional benefic. It rules your fifth house and eighth house. Now on April 30th, Mercury enter Aries in your third house of communication. Third house also is of siblings and skills. Here it is joining exalted sun. So this creates a powerhouse of expressions. You're moving from thinking to broadcasting. What I mean is this transit can bring few things to surface, like as your fifth lord of intellect joins exalted sun in third, your creative logic hits a peak. You aren't just talking, you are delivering exalted ideas and you can captivate your audience. The third house also rules digital media. So with your fifth lord of creativity or fame here, this is the week to post, launch, or publish your Mercury message that has a solar power to go global. You may suddenly master a technical skill or a hidden talent that sets you apart from your peers. This skill becomes a tool for professional exalted status. Your seventh lord is already in the third, so while Mercury joins, you find a logical way to close a deal or to handle a contract. You outthink the other party with technical precision. Your partner also will be very supportive. A younger sibling or a close teammate may experience a major win. Their success brings transformative joy to your life as well. You might start a new hobby that requires a deep analysis like coding or data driven gaming. Your hands want to solve mysteries. Now, what does the classic says about this transit is Vikrama Buddhi, valiant intelligence. Yes. Oh, this is wonderful. When the Lord of fifth and eighth joins seventh in the third, the native becomes Ati Chatur, extremely clever in yuddha, in battle or debates, and earns yash, earns the fame through lekhana, through writing, and sahas, through courage. This is a wonderful transit for you. Now, to summarize the month for you, Aquarius, the month starts with a heavy financial stress test as your ruler Saturn clashes with Mars, pushing you to get extremely disciplined with your savings and your speech. While Mercury fog might cause some confusion in your local travel or with your siblings early on, the cloud breaks after the 19th, bringing a beautiful sense of peace and stability to your home life. And by 30th, you will have the green light to speak your truth and move forward with much more secure and comfortable foundation. Now, the best dates for you is April 12th, 19th, and 30th. And for students, your communication and digital skills are your greatest assets. So expect to be the voice of your class or a group chat. Use the end of the month to launch a blog, YouTube channel, or a digital project. It has to go viral. Now let's look at the life segment and indicator. For personally, it is high. You feel sharp and communicative. On career and money, it is high. Gains through media and digital skills and your creativity. On social, also it is high. Non-stop messages and networking can happen this month. Love aspect is medium. Health is medium. On health, I want to add two bits. Watch your hands and shoulders, teeth and jaw tension. throat and vocal heat. Your speech center is running very, very hot, and eye strain and dryness can also be there. Now, let me also share a few remedies. The first remedy is global for everybody under the sun in any country, in any religion you belong to. Please mark your calendar. April 19th is a very, very important day to do the good deeds. It's we call it Akshat Tritaya. The fastest way to multiply your luck on April 19th is by doing charity. So you must you must give. So donate a small amount to a cause that you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today will return to you multifolds. Second remedy I want to share is on Saturn and Mars combo. The Aquarians, your words and your wealth are under a spotlight this month. Saturn and Mars are demanding a reality check in your second house. So instead of worrying about your bank balance, go out and labor for the community. Whether you're scrubbing pots in the kitchen or helping a neighbor organize their life, your sweat is your secret weapon. When you serve the collective, your own cup will never go dry. Now, remedy three I want to share with you is keep a piece of solid silver in your wallet. Avoid non vegetarian food and intoxicants to keep the second house of food and speech very stable. Wishing all the Aquarians all the very best for the month of April. And if you have any specific question about your own birth chart, please drop us a line in the comment box. I personally view all the messages and reply to them. Welcome to all the Pisces rising. Pisces, we have five transits for this month. If you look at the screen, there are five transits. Now, from the modern day perspective, you may think that how does this transit matter as an individual to you? But it does. Let me explain. Now, first, it's about the timing. You wouldn't sail against a storm, and astrology tells you when the wind is at your back. Second, it's a mirror to your inner world, helping you understand those secret urges before they overwhelm you. And third, it's your strategic edge. In a world of chaos, knowing the cosmic weather for April 2026 means you aren't just reacting, but you are leading. Hope you listen carefully and make best use of it. So let's break it down and see what's in store for you for the month of April. The first transit is on April 2nd when Mars enter Pisces in your own sign. So for Pisces ascendant, April 2026 is a volcanic awakening. This is happening in your first house, the house of your physical body, yourself, your personality, and your path in life. Now, with your second lord Mars is your second lord as well as ninth lord, is joining Saturn. On your head in the first house. Now, this is a complex transit. Now, let me add few things that what this transit can bring. First, with Mars and Saturn in your first house, you're shedding your gentle Pisces skin. You will feel much more aggressive, disciplined, and hard than usual. People will notice a steel in your eyes. Now, there is one heads up. Mars brings inflammation and fever, and Saturn brings chronic fatigue. So, watch out for headache, eye strain, or a blood pressure issue. You need to balance doing with resting. The ninth house, the ninth lord of luck is meeting with your 12th lord of losses. Now, you might feel like your luck is delayed or that have to work 10x harder than everyone else. Since Mars rules your second house of wealth, you might suddenly spend a lot of money on yourself, perhaps a medical treatment, a new look, or a personal project. You will fluctuate between being extremely angry like Mars and being totally silent, depressed like Sun. So your partner and family won't know which version of you they are getting today. Your relationship with your father or a mentor reaches a tension point. So you might decide to finally walk your own path rather than following their rules. Your 11th Lord Saturn is in the first, so you will get gains from recognition this month, but it will feel like a heavy burden rather than a celebration. The Pisces is the most psychic sign. With Mars and Saturn here, your gut feeling are sharp like a knife. You will see through people's lies instantly. But don't worry, Piscean, because the mid-month sunrise is there. After April 14, when the sun enters your second house, the pressure on your mind eases, but the focus shifts to your bank balance. You will stop obsessing over your identity and start focusing on your income. One Astro Diva tip I want to share with you is this month you are your biggest enemy and your biggest hero, your greatest hero. So if you feel stuck, move your body. Mars needs action. So if you feel angry, don't sit in the silence. Don't let the fire evaporate your own water. So move your body and keep your cool. The next transit is on April 11th when Mercury enter Pisces. For Pisces ascendant, the entry of Mercury into your own sign on April 11th is the most intense transit of the year. This creates a crowded conjunction in the first house of yourself, your physical self, and your identity. So for you, Mercury is ruler of fourth house, which represents home, mother, peace, and your seventh house, which represents your spouse, business partner. So when your life support lords enter your own body in debilitation, Mercury is getting debilitated here, joining the warriors like Mars and Saturn, you become a walking pressure cooker of spiritual and physical energy. Now, what I mean here is things can be a bit different here for this transit. You feel like your old self is dissolving. With your fourth and seventh lord weak in first house, you might feel like you have lost your direction in both home and in your marriage. Mars is the ninth lord of luck, so is on your head. You may experience actual fever, headache, or intense heat in your brain. Your soul is craving toward a breakthrough. You're physically present at home and work, but mentally somewhere else. Your spouse and family might feel you're being too cold or irritable. You might struggle to explain your feelings. You will have a deep oceanic thoughts but broken words, so don't make major promises this week. And sudden travel and move is also on the cards. Watch your feet, skin, nervous system. This combination of Mars, fire, and Saturn ice in your own sign can cause rashes or nerve pain. And because Mars is your ninth lord of fortune, having it in the first means you are your own luck, but you have to fight Mars and wait Saturn for it. Your seventh lord of business is also weak, so a partner might doubt your leadership or a contract may need emergency renegotiation due to technical error. So you're moving from being a dreamer to a disciplined mystic. Now, one advice I want to share with you, Pisces, you are the soul of the zodiac, and you know that. And right now, the universe is retuning your instrument. So stop trying to be logical like Mercury. The more you try to think the way out of this, the most confused you will get. But after April 14th, when Sun enters your second house, bringing financial clarity. And until then, meditate near water and let the steam pass. The third transit is the relief transit for you, April 14th, the mid month, when Sun enters Aries. For Pisces ascendant, Sun enter into Aries on April 14 illuminates your second house of accumulated wealth and family speech and values. The Sun is the lord of sixth house, debts, enemies, service, and health, and it becomes exalted Ucha in the house of treasury. Now, this is a money magnet transit. You're shifting from the health and service grind into period of financial authority and vocal power. What it means is, as the sixth lord of service reaches exaltation in the second house of wealth, you might receive a massive payout for your hard work, a bonus, or a settlement. Your daily hustle finally turns into an exalted gold. If you have had a legal battle over money or an old debt, the sun exaltation here burns the position. You reclaim what is rightfully yours with authority. Your speech becomes solar. So when you talk about money or family matters, people listen. You have the exalted command to set the rules in your own household. A family member may receive significant milestone or you become the sun around which the family revolves this month. You are the provider and the protector. You may suddenly switch to a high quality sattvic diet. The second house rules the mouth and you want only the purest and most exalted fuel into your body. The sixth lord sun is in the second also suggests that you have the exalted power to finally clear nagging debts or a loan that you have been stressing with your family. In your career, your face and your voice becomes your best assets. So it is the perfect time for public speaking, high level negotiation, or recording video content. One heads up I want to share with you is with sun's heat in the second house, watch for eye strain or dental sensitivity. Your internal fire is focused on your face right now. And while you're attracting money, the exalted sun in second can make you a bit arrogant about your resources. Ensure your self-worth isn't just tied to your net worth. Now, what does the classic says about it in Faldipika? The Shashtapati, sixth lord in Dvitiya and second as exalted. Ucha gives Arthalabha, financial gains through the defeat of rivals and makes the native Vachaspati a master of speech in his family. The next transit for you is on April 19 when Venus enter Taurus. Now, for Pisces, Venus is your third lord of efforts and 8 Lord of Transformation. And on April 19, Venus returns to her home in Taurus in your third house. Now, this is a high frequency transit for your self expression. While Sun in your second house has been making your speech hot and authoritative, Venus entering the third brings exalted charm to your hands, to your words, and to your daily environment. What it means is if you are a writer, blogger, or a content creator, your work takes on a Venetian beauty. You don't just communicate, you win with your words. This is a peak window for viral creative output. There are gains from sibling and peer. Since your third lord is in her own sign, a younger sibling or close neighbor may experience a major financial or romantic win. Their success brings exalted joy and stability into your life as well. You might upgrade your car, bike, or even your daily travel routine. A short trip taken after April 19 will likely to be a pleasure or artistic inspiration rather than just business. The third house rules the hands. This is the best time to start hobby like painting, jewelry making, or playing a musical instrument. Your manual dexterity is at all-time high. You solve deep problems through simple conversation. And if you work in marketing, PR, or a tech, your digital voice becomes incredibly magnetic. You find exalted rhythm of what your audience wants to hear. Any friction with the people in your immediate vicinity, neighbors, co-workers, subordinate, dissolves into Taurian stability. You might host a Venetian gathering for your local circle. You might meet someone special on a short journey, a weekend getaway, or even through a local community app. This connection feels stable and sensual from the start. You will be tempted to spend on a gadget, high-end stationery, or a short-term course. While these are expenditure, but they add exalted value to your personal brand. Now, what does Classic says about it in Faldipika? When the Tritiya, third lord in Tritiya, in third house in Swarashi, in own house, makes the native Vikrami, valiant, with Madhurya, with sweetness, blessed with helpful Sahodara, with supportive siblings, and one who gains through Kavita, and the ones who gains through poetry and Kala and through arts. So I think this is a good transit for you. Now, the next transit for you is when Mercury enter Aries on April 30th. Now, for Pisces, Mercury is critical Kendra Lord. It rules your fourth house and seventh house. So, they are two both important houses for all of us. On April 30th, Mercury enters Aries in your second house of wealth. So here it joins exalted sun. So this creates a high voltage Buddha Aditya yoga in your bank account. And whenever sun and Mercury sits together, they create a very beautiful, wonderful yoga. We call it Budh, that is Mercury, and Aditya, that is sun. Budh and sun, Mercury and sun yoga in your bank balance. What it means as your fourth lord of assets joins the exalted sun in the second of wealth, you may see a significant increase in family net worth. This could be through a property sale, a family business win, or a mother figure financial success. Your seventh lord partner is now in the house of money. So, if you are in business, a joint venture hits a golden period. If married, your spouse may receive a major raise or a high status professional breakthrough. With exalted sun and Mercury in the house of speech, your voice carries king like weight. You don't just chat, you command. This is the perfect week for high stakes salary negotiation. Well, through problem solving can also happen. You will have a strong urge to spend on your home or a luxury vehicle because sun is exalted. You won't settle for a cheap, you want the best in class asset. You might sign a major document involving family property or a partnership deal or an agreement. Your Mercury logic ensures the fine print protects the fourth house of peace. The seventh lord in second means your public reputation is now your biggest currency. People are willing to pay more just to be associated with you, with your exalted brand. Now, gains through litigation debts are also on the card. So, if you have been waiting on a legal settlement or a debt repaying, the Sun Mercury logic in second house brings favorable and fast resolution. There is a restless eating speech also on the cards. What I mean is, you might also find yourself craving hot, spicy food. So, watch your tongue both for what it says and what it tastes. What does the classical says about it? The classic in Faldipika says, when the Kendra Lord 4th and 7th joins the 6th Lord in the second house with exalted sun, the native gains Bahudhana, abundant of wealth through Vak Shakti, through power of speech, and Rajya Dwar, the help from government or high stake authorities also there. So let me summarize for you, Pisces. This month begins with a high pressure identity test as Mars and Saturn clash in your own sign, pushing you to stay disciplined and calm while others are losing their cool. So, while the early Mercury fog might cause some financial confusion, the clouds break after the 19th, bringing beautiful surge of confidence and smooth communication with those closest to you. By 30th, the heavy weight lifts, giving you a clear green light to speak your truth and move forward with much more solid sense of self. This is a month of making Pisces, so go for it. The best dates for you, April 2nd, 11th, and 29th. And for students, you're moving from emotional learning to value based results. It's time to monetize your knowledge. Your speech is highly authoritative this month, making it a perfect time for an oral exam or pitching for a scholarship. Now, let's look at the live segments and indicator. On personal, it is medium because you are restless but you're determined. On career, it is career and money, it is high. So, bank balance is the priority for this month. Social is it is medium. Focus is mostly on your kin and siblings. On love, it is high. Communication in love is sweet. Health is low. Yes, because Mars and Saturn are there in your first house. First house is your yourself. So Mars in first brings injuries or rashes, so you need to be careful. Head and migraine pressure is also there. Skin and face sensitivity will be there, and foot and joint stiffness can be there. Now, Pisces, I want to share some remedies with you. The first remedy is common, it's global, it is common for every living being, be any religion or any country. Please mark your calendar for April 19th. It's the day for doing good deeds. We call it Akshat Tritiya. To get, you must give. So, donate a small amount to a cause you love today, whether it's an animal shelter or a food bank. In the eyes of stars, a gift given today will come back to you multifolds. Use this day. And remedy two, I want to give on Saturn and Mars in your first house. Pisces, the world is feeling heavy on your shoulders right now because Saturn and Mars are sitting right on your doorstep. So don't just sit with pressure. Move it. Whether you are scrubbing a floor, moving a furniture for a neighbor, or being the silent protector for someone in need, use your physical body to serve. When you labor for others, the weight on your own heart begins to lift. So this is one sutra, a secret that I'm sharing with you. And please chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, this is a very, what can I say, potent mantra. Chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It specifically targets the threefold disturbances on physical, on mental, and on your environmental. So, if it is Hindi, it is difficult. Please rewind the video and listen to it. It's very simple. Only five words are there. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The Mars and Saturn conjunction will, whatever triggers in the first house will vanish like this. Please chant it every day. And wishing you all the very best, Pisces. If you have any specific questions, please drop us a line in the comment section. I personally take a look at all the comments and reply to them. So, wishing you all the best to all the sweethearts, Pisceans, all the best to you. And this sums up the monthly predictions for the month of April 2026. Wishing all our viewers a very successful month ahead. Bye for now and take care.